Well, welcome everyone to an Aeroflow Race for Real. We have got an absolute cracker tonight, and it is right up my alley, Ford versus Holden. So we'll find out a little bit later when Stewie gets out there. We'll find out where the Holden people are, where the Ford people are, and we will see who ends up coming on top out of this little stash. We got Danny down there in the Falcon. This guy is super quick on the lights. Done a lot of racing in this car. Has done a lot of racing overall. So we should be able to get some good reaction times out of him tonight. We will have my co-commentators here a little bit later. The guys have just been tied up with a few commitments. We will have Stewie, the pocket rocket himself, and we will have Bushy out here as well, the Bushman. So those guys won't be too far away. Well, you gotta love the look of this XF Falcon down there. The injection hanging out of the bonnet. They have an absolute unique sound to them. Well, 12-1 to a 15-0, but how good did that Falcon sound? All right, and we do have to just say a big hello to the Sydney Drag official at YouTube, and also Sydney Dragway Facebook crew. So we've got both those guys here with us now. Come to watch some great drag racing, and it is really good drag racing here. As I say, it's right up my alley. A bit of Ford versus Holden. But I've got a welcome Mr. Bushman himself.
Thank you very much, Mark. I hope you're having a good evening, and of course we're going to be looking forward to a bit of that age-old rivalry that's been around all forms of motorsport since the inception.
Yep.
Ford versus Holden, of course, is the theme night for tonight, and we've got a gorgeous pair of old versus new Ford on the start line right now.
Yeah, we do. We've got the early Ute. Wow, Ute just absolutely blows the tyres off it. But also we've got to say g'day to Stewie. The pocket rocket is wandering around, just throwing out the flags for us at the moment, the Aeroflow flags. And Stewie will be on mic very, very shortly.
That he will be, and of course doing all the interviews from the staging lane. So if you see Stewie running around down there, don't be shy. Give him a chat. Give your sponsors a shout out if you've got it, or a workshop that's helped you out.
Yep.
You know, tell us a little bit about your car, and you know,
any clubs that you're a part of.
All
yeah,
that
like
sort of
we
stuff.
want to promote all of this stuff. So yeah, actually I was. Wow, this thing is still turning tyres.
We see a fairly prominent set of marks to about the 660 and has rolled on through for 1094 at only 77 miles an hour.
So that was a big back out, wasn't it?
Massive big back out. He was doing 113 at half track.
Wow, that car, from memory, has really been stepped up. I haven't seen it go that hard for a long time.
I tell you what, the car in the other lane went 10 170, I think it was, 135 mile an hour.
Okay.
Or thereabouts. So yeah, our attention obviously to the car in the airflow lane that was not going as straight as the driver probably would wanted it to. But
done a good bit of driving. I'll give him that.
He sure did.
Yeah, nice and gentle. You definitely don't go jamming these things round. They totally unsettles them, and they do get a little bit twitchy on you. So, yeah, done a great job.
And that magnetic wall.
Yes, indeed.
Comes into play. And of course, it's not actually magnetic, but I'm sure it seems that way.
Yes, yeah, when you see it, and it's getting bigger and bigger.
That's exactly right. Pair of Fords leaving the start line now. We've got the Ute in the rocket lane.
Well, I tell you what, mate, I'm a little bit
I haven't seen
overwhelmed at the moment. There's just Ford after Ford after Ford.
Quick ones too. 10.26 with a 5. 138 mile an hour in the rocket lane there for the Ute. Went 174 to the 60.
Mate, it's the Ford boys turned it up for today.
Well, we've got to. I suppose we'll win by sheer numbers more than.
Well, mate, you may do. I tell you what.
Oh no! Here you go. Here you go. Got a Commodore taking on the Focus in the aeroflow lane.
Even this one's got me worried. These Focuses go good.
They do go pretty good.
It doesn't take a real lot to get them motivating, so...
Because this one, the XR5 with the 5-cylinder
yep.
power plant in it. We won't mention that bit, Ben. It's the badge on the front, right?
But does it come with driving gloves and a hat?
I don't know. You'll have to...
It is part of the Volvo. Oh, sorry, the 5-cylinder package.
0.47 on the tree for the Commodore. Good way to start the night.
Wow, and a 1.760 foot. So, yeah, it's okay. I'm confident now.
I was going to say, you're feeling better. 11.98 with a 9. 115 for the Commodore in the rocket lane to a 13.93 with a 7 at 101.
Mate, it looks like we're just releasing the Holden lane at the moment.
Nice little Tirana in the rocket lane.
Yeah, up against this really trick-looking VL Calais.
The VL away nicely off the start line. And runs on through first for an 11.89 with a 9. 117 miles an hour through the finish line. And the Tirana coming home very strong at the top end of the racetrack. 132 mile an hour on a 12.48. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
I think there's a little bit more in that one.
Yes. I think you're probably right there. You're right there, Mark. And I reckon Cliff on our live stream is definitely a Ford man. Have I got that right, Cliff? He's saying Holdens are at home in the shed with the bonnet up.
Okay. Is that to show off the engine bay, why the people in the Fords are just pushing them past?
See what you started, Cliff?
It is indeed, yep.
13.50, 104 in the aeroflow lane there to a 16.99 at 78 mile an hour for the Commodore in the rocket lane. Oh, I got that wrong, Mark.
What's that, mate?
He's an Audi man, ex-Holden owner.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not too bad. Ben, don't go down this track.
Pair of Holdens.
When was the last time you drove your Mercedes? Oh, that's right, it doesn't go.
It started up here in the commentary box.
Well, mate, we got them all going tonight.
Someone's feelings is going to get hurt. I can feel it.
No.
It'll probably be mine because I'm outnumbered.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
13.01 with a 107 mile an hour in the airflow lane there for the Commodore, and the utility in the rocket lane. 13.93 with a 4. Not too much in that one. ET wise across the finish line.
Well, the S Commodore, nice strong burnout, and
Yeah,
VK right beside him.
I'll tell you what, Mark, what a cracker of an afternoon we've got here.
Mate, compared to what it was like this morning.
I was looking out the window at work at lunchtime and the big black clouds, I thought,
Yeah.
And then, yeah, but there's not a cloud in the sky. The only cloud that we've got is a little bit of tyre smoke that's dissipating in front of the window.
Oh, a little bit of smoke out the back of the VS Commodore, but it's cleared out now. But yeah, 11.1, 122 miles an hour to an 11.8, 121 miles an hour.
Oh, loving the Monaro down in the airflow lane.
I was talking to a mate this afternoon. He's just got a couple of cars he's cleaning up. They got a car show down at Monaro this weekend.
Okay.
And one is a QE Monaro. And I haven't seen this car before. He goes, oh, yeah, it's just one of my cars. It has got a blown, injected big block. It's fully caged out. And he's just been having this thing hiding in the garage. He just talks about it as the Monaro.
So he has never divulged any details.
No, he hasn't. But he did let loose that he's got a hatchback as well. So yeah, I'm nagging the hell out of him now to see that one. But
and he didn't tell you when he purchased these said cars?
Mate, he's built these cars.
Oh, right.
There you go. Just the Monaro in the garage.
Yeah, wow. Can I... That's a fair garage, I will say.
That is a great garage.
So when is he going to run this one down the racetrack, Mark?
I don't know.
Or is that the how long is a piece of string question?
I think it is. Well, Monaro goes through 10.9, 125 miles an hour to a 12.7, 114 miles an hour. Yeah, I think I might have to start annoying him to get to see this one.
Yes. Like once a week.
Yes, I think so.
Once a day might be a bit much, but once a week.
Yeah.
Another pair of Holdens about to face the Christmas tree here. Of course, tonight our Ford versus Holden theme night. Still plenty of time to get on down to Sydney Dragway if you're listening to the live stream and think, well, I could run my car. I've got a helmet. I've got long sleeve pants and long pants and a long sleeve top. That's pretty much all you need, and you can come on down and run your car here. Of course, if it is a Ford or a Holden, you get a discounted entry.
You do indeed.
Discounted entry rate for tonight.
Yep,
So
you definitely do. Holden's all welcome.
Or any car.
Oh, sorry, and Fords, yeah, sorry.
Any car's welcome, of course, Mark. It can be an Audi, it can be a V5,
Well, yeah,
it can be a Volvo even. It doesn't matter.
Ford.
We had a 12-second.
Yeah.
We had a 12-second Volvo here last week.
Oh, did you?
Which lifting the left front every time. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't mind watching that.
Yeah, I'd be pretty impressed with that. What did it have a...
I don't know what it had in it because the guy that was doing the interviews was up here with me, not running around outside.
Okay.
He has raced here before. I can't remember what it had in it. You're right, Ben. He has spoken to him once before.
My understanding, this MG down here with the big E on the back window...
Yeah, I'm guessing it's electric.
Is a one-off at the moment. There's not a real lot of them released.
Like a
Not
a prototype almost.
Well, probably a little bit past that, but
Yes.
yeah, it's sort of been in production, but I don't know if they're released for sale as of yet, or if it's the first one being sold. There's a bit of a story behind it.
Okay.
We might get Stewie to find that one out.
Yep.
But yeah.
Tell you what, I'm not minding the Focus in the Rocket Lane, Mark. It's got the big wide body kit on it and everything. Looks really trick.
It does, doesn't it? Really low on fat. I'll tell you what, this electric car, 186 foot, on the brakes.
Early 12.24 with a 188 mile an hour through the finish line, doing 92 mile an hour at half track. Thank you.
Okay.
And the Focus, I could hear it was either slipping the wheel on the start line or it was not getting all the power to the rear wheel. So could have been a slipping clutch. Which I'm sure the guys on the start line would know all about that because they could probably smell it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I'd say so. We've got the Honda down in the Aeroflow lane.
This is
up against the Toyota.
This is Ford versus Holden Japanese spec.
Yeah, okay. So it's just one of those cruisers, or they're like a Camry wannabe or something, aren't they?
No, it's a Lexus.
So it's a Lexus with a Toyota badge? Yeah. So it's the...
Well, this is as close as a Toyota you're going to get.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah, I'm not sure either. I
14.45 with a 196 mile an hour through the finish line, and the little Honda 13.59 with a 3 at 101. That's a Toyota.
That is a Toyota.
And that's a Subaru.
With a big N on the back window. Okay, so whatever bench seen floating around underneath may have come out. No, he's not picking up anything. Okay, climbing back over the fence again, so we might be all good. Maybe it's still underneath the car. It hasn't been set free as of yet.
Pretty sure the driver of the utility, desperate to run into the 10 second zone. He was into the 11s. Last week, big move around for the Subaru at half track. Had a couple of goes at it. 10.63 with a 124 mile an hour. I'm sure last week off the top of my head, he was only running low 11. So if that's his first pass into the 10s, he's smashed into it.
Yeah, he has indeed. But did you see that Subaru come on boost?
3 times.
Oh, jeez.
All 3 went over to the left substantially.
Okay, got a nice, clean, tidy, a little... The KE, yeah, yep. KE55, I think it is.
Yep. Corolla, taking on the Audi wagon in the Rocket Lane.
Audi looks really tricked too.
Looks very low, doesn't it? Even though it's looks like it's channeled over those wheels, although they're probably 22s or something silly.
Probably, yeah.
I prefer the thing that's coming out next from Masport Racing.
Yeah, nice pass from the Corolla. Well spotted, Benji. 11.51 with a 0, 126 through the finish line. The Audi with a 12.15 mark.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, right, Stu. The little RX-7 looking really, really nice in the low sun here at Sydney Dragway, taking on the utility in the Rocket Lane.
Yeah, I do say this utility has got the goods too, boys. I mean, hasn't got a lot of weight at the rear wheel, but obviously a very well set up car. As a matter of fact, I reckon the driver only just fits in it just quietly. But look, what a great night for racing, boys. It's not overly cold down here. Conditions are fantastic. for drag racing, and expecting a whole lot more cars that are starting to roll in. And it's good to see a little bit of the imports as well. They've decided to show their face and make sure it's not all Holden and Ford.
Joe Sorbello in the Datsun taking on Tim Fryer in the Chrysler Centura. Strong burnout from Joe in the aeroflow lane here for his first run tonight.
Yeah, Joe was saying the car is a little bit off song at the moment.
Oh, 007 on the tree.
Car might, but he's not. He's right on it.
8.99 with a 7, 149 through the finish line.
He lied.
I can't see anything too wrong with that,
No,
Joe.
me either.
And a 10.65 with a 6 at only 102 for Fryer in the rocket lane there in the Centura.
Well, we got Gold Rush down in the aeroflow lane. We've got Ross Bilby right beside him.
I was showing Benji last week. There was a pickup similar to this came across on a social media app.
Yep.
Making 3,364 rear wheel horsepower. Have a guess how much boost it was making.
Oh, it'll be something.
Have a stab, just a wild stab.
70.
Yeah, that's cute. 189 pound.
What?
I've seen, there's plenty of other photos that I came across where it had flame coming out of it, where it shouldn't have had flame coming out of it. But yes, it's no man's land for a lot of stuff.
I was going to say, that's usually around ignition time. It just ignites and blows itself away. Wow.
912 with a 6 for Gold Rush in the aeroflow lane there. And Bilby, I think, a little bit disappointed with his RT there. It was 146. I don't think I've seen it that late for him. Anyway, might have been a little bit distracted. The gold reflection in his left,
could have been.
From his left, I don't know. But yeah, I reckon I'll be doing this every time when we come up on boost. or cowering, cowering behind something.
I think I'd be wearing a bulletproof vest. Well, mate, I got sent something today, and just for the Holden owners out there, Holden 308 stroker, built by B&K.
Yes.
Naturally aspirated, running on E85, 703 horsepower with 553 pounds of torque.
Yeah, wow.
Not bad for a old cast iron stroker motor, is it?
That's pretty good. Can't complain with that.
I'd be real happy about that. That's a 308 stroke to a 383.
Oh, wow.
The stuff that guy turns out.
I was going to say there'd be a lot of custom bits in that, I'd imagine.
Oh, yeah. But they're also like, the guys that come racing have now got a 400 and something stroker for the 308s.
Oh, wow.
But you've got to use the VT block.
Yep.
So,
obviously
and they said virtually you may strike water. So you do have to do a little bit of touching up.
Virtually you may.
Yep.
Or you just don't run water and grout fill it.
Well,
you don't come across that problem.
And look, with 308s, you do half grout fill them anyway.
Oh, okay.
Anything that's punching that much horsepower.
Wow, there is more left in that Tirana. I was watching it go as you were talking there, Mark. 10.04 with an 8. 140, I'll round up, 144 mile through the finish line. Easy as you like. 172 with a 9 to the 60 foot. That's just, well, that's a pretty hard leave, but I think for 144 mile an hour, that should be like a 1.4-ish.
So imagine when he gets that thing to really hook up off the line.
Yeah. Although I think that the speed probably is not going to change greatly, but the ET is going to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
well, guys, I've got some good news down here in the staging lanes. I've been talking to Level 1.
Yes.
They're actually going to give me an Odyssey batteries voucher. And it's actually going to go to the best looking car. Doesn't matter if it's Holden or a Ford. The best looking car here tonight. It's an Odyssey batteries voucher. So we're going to have to put our heads together, boys, later on in the night and make our decision on who we think deserves it. Because obviously, not just about going fast, but the presentation of your vehicle goes a long way too. So as commentators, we'll work that out towards the end of the night. But there is an Odyssey batteries voucher up for grabs.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Is that excellent news? A little bit more incentive for the races out there tonight.
Yeah, indeed. So get your chamois out, start cleaning.
Now, also, boys, just had a talk with Crazy, the Hilux, as well. And the boys were just telling me the difference between last week and this week. Purely, they've done the diff gears and removed the headlight. That was about it.
Okay, so
have they run a 10 or not? Because he ran 1060 there. It was quite a... I thought last week he was struggling to get into the 10s.
Yeah, he was, Steve. He was down in the 1107s.
Yep.
Pretty much all night. But that's the only difference they've done, Steve, between last week and this week. So congratulations to those guys. And look, if conditions get a little bit cooler, there's still a bit of warmth out there in the track. Hey, they might go a little bit quicker.
Hey, Stu, next time you catch up with them, find out what diff they're running and what ratio they went to and what from.
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm right near the boys now. I will go over and ask them just quickly. Hey, boys, just quickly, what diff gears are you running in it now?
4.3s.
4.3s. That's the big difference. And what were you running last week?
4.11s last week.
That's made a huge difference.
What diff's in it?
What diff is in it?
Standard Hilux diff with a full spool in it.
Standard Hilux diff with a full spool. That's awesome.
Not bad. Can't complain.
You guys are killing it. They say Toyotas are tough. Are you guys are proving it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They are tough.
They're tougher than a Holden and a Ford, aren't they?
I'll race one of them any day.
There we go, boys. Well, you know, I mean, I put up on Facebook a little bit earlier promoting the helping with the event, saying we got Ford versus Holden tonight. But as you two boys know, I sit on the fence when it comes to this type of stuff.
Well, Stu, we can arrange a race for him.
Well, it's lucky because we got one of the Masport Racing RX-7s here. So that's the main thing. We got a rotor here. So, how you going, buddy?
Not too bad, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Now, I sit on the fence. I'm a Mazda fan. Those two upstairs, we got a Holden and a Ford fan. You're flying the flag for the Mazdas. Mate, I reckon the imports might have over a few of these cars tonight.
I think they will. Yeah, they go pretty good, don't they?
They certainly do. Now, of course, Masport Racing, no stranger here to Sydney Dragway. Tell us a little bit about your RX-7.
Well, Bill just built the motor for me. Just finished running it in, and it's only running 20-pound boost at the moment until I get used to it. It's a billet motor, all the internals done, large cut bridge, side cut, whatever they do. Bloody, yeah, it's built. He said it's a 7-second spec motor. So got to sort the rear end out. Obviously, I'm still spinning wheels on low boost. But yeah, once I get it sorted out, hopefully I get at least an 8.
And have you built the car to be a radial car, or do you think in the future you might look at putting some slicks on it?
Just a full streeter, and I just put these tyres on last week and to come down and see how it goes. Yeah, to be honest.
Now, on the flip side, are you pretty excited to see that Bill's over in Orlando at the moment with their car?
Very excited. Hope they do well.
Well, I know that Gina is like jumping off the ground like she's in a Toyota ad. She is pumped. So good luck to the Masport team, but to yourself, my friend, welcome to Aeroflow Race for Real, and good luck.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Back to you, boys.
Thanks, Stewie. And that's sensational. We've got some guys from Australia overseas representing and running the Australian flag.
It must be such a buzz to be in the have an opportunity to do that.
Yes.
You know, especially with people like, you know, Masport's been around drag racing and motorsport, all forms of motorsport for such a long time. You know, vast amount of experience across many different types of motor racing, and obviously to be able to pull that knowledge in a tour, if you like.
Yep.
Yes, okay, track conditions probably a little bit different to what they're going to see here, but they're going to learn a hell of a lot by being in that environment and around different cars. Hopefully, Bill picks up a few things while he's over there and can bring that back to Sydney when he returns home.
Yeah, and you're right there. Mixing with those guys over there, they just do so much racing.
Yes.
Compared to what we do over here. So yeah, you will pick up stuff. You know, you'll be able to maybe get a few processes that's going to make things
very much
run
so.
better. So yeah, it's great. But it's just great for the guys to be over there. You know, like that's an experience of a lifetime, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And of course, we do have the odd racer that's lucky enough to go and do that. But obviously, there's a cost involved in doing that, and a loss of racing time with the car in transit as well. So you know, there is a reasonable commitment to make that decision to actually do it in the first place.
Yep.
Of course, we have seen John Willard of Atlantic Oils in the Anglia. He's recently been racing in the UK. You know, the car was a fair time in transit both ways, and but he had a ball over there, and you know, there was plenty of social media around that car. Yeah, so to be given the opportunity to do that is really, really good, and obviously, as I say, you're racing against all new cars. You'll pick up different ways of doing things that either, you know, some I'm sure he'll see, okay, that doesn't make sense, but if they work, then they don't have to make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to see it work the other way around too. I'd like to see some of the guys
go, oh, that's a good idea, and then use something like that we do that's perhaps a little bit different.
Yeah, because you know, like some of the guys from the States, from Europe, you know, even you know some of the other, you know, the other countries that do a lot of drag racing.
Yes. Well, I mean, I follow a couple of different races on Facebook, not necessarily drag races, but in some cases, like one of them's a US sprint car racer, and he would race 3 times a week at different tracks. Like,
yeah, that's phenomenal, isn't it?
It's obviously a full-time gig for that team and that family to be able to do that. But you could imagine how sharp you would become spending that much time in the seat. Yeah. You know?
You must, and those guys must have a huge budget.
I think so, or you know, have a business that they can actually do on the road. They don't have to be in the one spot. You know, you see all this stuff. Obviously, with the internet, makes it a lot easier to conduct business anywhere if you're in that field, or you have a profession that allows you to do that.
Yep.
You know, if you're a stock trader or something like that, you can do it anywhere. You know, you could do it sitting in the staging lanes on Wi-Fi on the laptop if you wanted to. But you know, I think you know, having that freedom is certainly a good thing. But yes, you still do need the budget because obviously you're tearing up money. In any case, this Falcon a little bit straighter this time. Still moved around a little bit. He ran quite a good speed from memory on the first pass.
Yeah, he buttoned out of it fairly early. And a good pass, 11.5, 113 miles an hour to an 11.8, 120 miles an hour. So it's good to look at that in it. You know, like the ET was quicker, but the miles an hour was down compared to the Tirana. The Commodore.
Strong burnout from the Falcon in the airflow lane.
So Falcon up against the Nitrous Commodore Ute.
Ooh, sounds like the Commodore's left the start line, but there was a little bit of free revving there.
I think it might have left something behind.
I didn't hear any bangs though.
No.
Did you hear any bangs? I just heard it almost like a free rev. Looks like some issues there for the Falcon as well.
They just picked something up off the track.
And the Falcon's coasted on through as well, Mark. So that's, I guess, evened it out a little bit. Although, of course, we don't like seeing people break their cars.
And it's just so unusual for a Holden.
No comment.
Come on, Steve.
No.
I don't usually see you quiet. How good does this two-door Monaro look down here?
Mate, this Monaro is hot. I mean,
got a decent tyre under it, Stu.
Absolutely it does. But I mean, Steve, not just the outside either, the inside of that car as well. Pretty much looks like a street machine. It's got, well, it says 383, but, you know, who knows what it's got under it. That might be old plates. But the interior of it is beautiful. I mean, it's a credit to the owner. It's got a couple of pipes hanging out from underneath it in the front. So I'm interested to see what you can get out of this car tonight. Got the Hoosier slick.
Yeah, definitely got a good bit of rubber under it, yeah. And you're right there, from what we can see of the trim in there, it looks like it's got the cream leather trim in it. So, yeah,
Well, I'm thinking if it has got the 383 in it, it'd be very similar to what Alicia's running in her HQ.
Yep.
Which we know has dipped into the 10s, but it seems to be happy around that 1106, 1107.
Oh, did she get into the 10s? Did you know you were?
Yeah,
I know she was talking about it and got very close, but oh, that's good.
Yeah, when that motor was freshened up,
yeah,
it run, I think, 1080s fairly consistently. Yeah, and then it just, the amount of racing she's done,
yeah.
I think then it just slowly fell back to 11.2s.
Monaro at 1089 with a 7 there, Mark. 124, left pretty well, 2157 to the 60.
Yeah. Yeah, those tyres definitely done the trick. Wow.
Okay, that driver's not shy.
Not at all. And we did see this car. This car sort of was turning tyres a long way out. So I think he's put a fair bit of heat into them this time. But this thing is sounding super crisp in the burnout.
Just bobbing the front end up on the head of the throttle. 098 reaction time.
460 foot and jumps out of it real early. 10.4 at 82 miles an hour to an 11.1 at 117 miles an hour.
That's impressive, boys. I mean, that thing launched up straight off the start line, instantly kicked out just a little bit, and the driver did a great job to get that car down to a 10.4. Now, of course, during the week, I don't know about you, Steve and Mark, but I've been watching a little bit of Drag Challenge. And tell you what, there's been some quick street cars at Drag Challenge this year. To see that Tirana run into the sixes.
The orange one?
Yes.
Yes, I did see that post.
That was insane.
Yeah, sure was. I will have to see if I can find the details of it on Facebook, but I did see a post, and I'm pretty sure that Capri went really well too, the purple one.
Yeah, I believe that did. I believe a couple of cars got down into the 7s and the 8s. So, I mean, you know, when talking street cars, we see them here at Aeroflow Race for Real fairly regularly, but, you know, when you've got a car that's capable of running that time, you're driving on from track to track. I mean, that just shows you not just the engineering of the car, but the whole package.
Yeah.
Stu, you've got to have reliability.
Stu, with those cars, like those big horsepower cars that can run down into those low numbers, you're dead right, because going from track to track, what really kills them is they're not meant for that. They're not built for that. And that does so much damage to the valve train and everything, because they're running huge roller cams and stuff in them. They're virtually getting to the track and then just going through the whole top end of those motors. And you found, you know, like last drag challenge, the HQ,
that silver one.
Yeah,
yes.
That destroyed the top end because of that reason. You know, like it just kills them. So for those guys to be running those numbers constantly and keeping those cars going, huge amount of work in it, is a credit to them.
Also, when you see them as well, boys, when they've got a trailer strapped to the back of them as well, I mean, even that's an impression.
Yeah, very much so, Stu. I think I saw one with the purple Capri we were just talking about, had a big roof rack on it with the 2 slicks.
Yep.
Sitting up there with a whole heap of spares. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Well, I seen the guys with the Celica.
Oh, yes.
I didn't get to see the end of it, but it blew both ends of the radiator out. And they weren't sure if they'd cracked a block or it was just a head. But they had all those spares with them.
Yeah, wow.
They said if it's a head, they can fix it. If it was a cracked block, they're done.
Yeah, not many people would take a spare engine with them. But
no, but that thing was running into the 8s.
Yeah, wow.
And 4 guys in the car.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Yeah. They had little pipes set up everywhere directing air into the car while they were driving it from track to track. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, boy, it is great to see we used to call the Tamora 1000 Falcon Ute back again. Haven't seen him for a while. City Dragway, put your hands together, both of them putting on a smoke show. Holden versus Ford. That's what we like to see. Now, you guys may have mentioned earlier that we're going live all around the world via Facebook and our official YouTube panel. And I noticed our motley crew have joined us again for tonight. Cliff, Psyop, Gypsy, g'day guys. Welcome to City Dragway and Aeroflow Race for Real. And if you're watching from overseas, guys, this is probably almost the most Australian night you're going to get.
Yeah, it is indeed. All the Holdens and the Fords. This is just a bit of a stout, just been going for a long time. Well, the HG it didn't lift the front wheels. It just jumped out of that, Stu. You were the perfect position down there to see it.
Yeah, massive turn of the tyres, boys, but it just did not stop turning off the start line. Funny thing is there is no hint of fluid on the start line either, so that was just pure grunt.
Was indeed. He just launched that thing pretty hard. And, yeah, like you said, it just absolutely nuked those tyres. But hopefully he will get that down the track and maybe a little bit easier off the line.
Well, the funny thing is too, boys, just looking at that pass, and I will have to double check, but initial thoughts is the Falcon's running slicks on the rear end of it, and the HG's actually got a set of radials on it.
Okay.
So, big difference between the two tyres, but having said that, on this track, it kind of evens itself out a little bit.
Does indeed, mate, yeah.
Now, it's good to see a whole heap of focuses. Now, if you're watching on Facebook, guys, and you're thinking, oh, it's Holden versus Ford, you know, it means Falcon and Commodore. No, it's more than that. You know, there's Ford focuses. There could be a Holden Astra come out. Who knows? You know, there could even be a, I don't know, one of the new Holden ZB Commodores. Who knows? You know, so anything with a Holden badge or a Ford badge, bring it out. I'm actually surprised we haven't got any more Ford Rangers here. But judging by what I was reading today, I think a few of the Ranger drivers are being a little bit careful.
Okay. Well, we've got a really good array of cars out there, Stu, and it's from every brand. Like, we've got anything from MGs through to Holden, to Honda and Toyota imports, Mazdas. We've got the lot.
It's great to see Sammy Jo and her husband here tonight as well with the Commodore. Of course, they had a little bit of an issue last week. They've obviously got it fixed. And they love their racing. And don't forget, guys, tomorrow night here at City Dragway, if you love Aeroflow Race for Real and you've got that racing bug, why not come out tomorrow night and enter yourself into the roll drags? Now, Mark, I don't know if you've been on Facebook, but we've got some tough cars that have already entered for the roll drags tomorrow night. A lot of them are from the import scene.
Yep.
And there's some very tough radial shod GTRs that'll be making their way out. So it's obviously it's a different style of racing to tonight, but hey, the action's going to be just as exciting as it is tonight. And I'll tell you what, we've got lots of cars still waiting to go through scrutineering, and some very, very tight examples of the General's brand here this evening as well.
Well, the Commodore up against the Ford. And good to see a little P-plate on the back. So P-plate are out here having some fun.
Exactly right. They'll be able to go a little bit quicker than what they will on the road, of course.
Yep, indeed.
Yeah, just following up with what Stu said there about the roll drags for tomorrow night. We've got a whole host of precision racing Euro cars coming tomorrow night. There's a black R8 Audi. There's the dark blue one coming as well. There was a Skyline coming and a Lamborghini, all from Precision.
Wow, okay.
So, yeah, definitely looking forward to that. There's also a B2R Motorsport are bringing along their R34.
Yep.
It's entered as of yesterday, and then entered as of today is Titan. It's another R34 Skyline. So definitely looking forward to tomorrow night's roll drags, of course, kicking off from 6 p.m. tomorrow. And I think from memory, the fastest car down the roll drags track at the moment was 228 kilometres an hour. It was an R35 Skyline last time. We had a couple of Supras in the low 200s, and then there was one like 220 from memory. But definitely that's the mark to beat. And I think watching some of these other Audis and whatnot across the road, I think that 225 is probably going to be nudged up just a fraction, I reckon.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
And Ford versus Toyota on the start line. Toyota just out in front at the moment, though, Mark.
Well, I'm not sure which one was it. I'd say it's the Toyota was
Yep.
chasing gears.
No, I think it was the Falcon, actually.
The Falcon, was
yeah.
it? Okay.
And the Toyota took that one out.
Okay, I wonder whether that one has a 2J in it. Doesn't seem to
It yes,
go like a turbo version,
No, it doesn't.
though.
It's very quiet if
Yeah.
it is. So we're about to see a Honda versus Toyota, this utility.
And I read an article on one of these early Hiluxes
Yes.
with a 2J in it. And the guy just uses it for his everyday drive car.
What's making a casual 1,000 at the tyres, is it? Or
He didn't put figures to it, but
it runs.
it had, like, when you see the engine specs, it has some gear. And as we know, you don't have to throw a lot at them
No.
to make them go.
And a 1075 with an 8.123 at that time around for the Rocket Lane. And the little Honda in the Aeroflot lane, Mark, not too bad. 1367 with a 9.103 through the finish line.
That's a great time.
Yeah, the 60-foot, all the twos right the way through. Of course, we certainly see those Honda-powered cars making big horsepower when people
Yes.
start to modify them, even though you don't have to modify them a lot, and they just come alive.
Yeah, 100% right. And I'll tell you what, hey, P-plate, P-plate, P-plate. Mate, that's great. That's sensational to see these guys out here.
It's fantastic. And
Come
of
out,
course,
have some fun.
for $40, it's not worth losing your license doing something silly on the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
Focus putting on a bunch at the top end of the racetrack. 1371 with a 5.106 through the finish line.
And 17.1 at 80 miles an hour for the Rocket Lane for the Subaru. You can hear that Boxer just rumbling its way down the track. The VL, the big set of 20s on it.
Not ideal for drag racing, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Have to get Stu to find out what's in this little Corolla. It's turbo something, but it's very quiet. I think ran into the 11s on the first pass, I think. Look at it go at the top end, Mark.
I was just looking at
126 mile an hour. Wow.
I was watching it go down the track. It's just getting quicker and quicker as it's winding up.
Yes, doing 100 mile an hour at half track. There's 60 foot, probably the bit that's hurting the most in that ET, 227. But even that's not too bad. 11.71 with a 3 through the finish line.
Well, not bad for a manual car getting off the line. So we got the Audi up against the VW at the Golf. All virtually roll out of the same factory.
Yeah, well, you can nearly say this is, I was going to say Ford versus Holden Euro style, not Jap style.
Well, a bit of a shame for the Golf, just roll forward. But good thing, still get an ET out of it.
12.31 with a 7, 124 through the finish line.
Yeah, so that's a nice low 11-second pass all day. And 12.1, 115 miles an hour for the Rocket Lane.
Because we had the Golf R last week, ran 9.50, Mark.
Oh, really? Okay.
Did it on a couple of occasions, actually. I can't remember the tuning shop, so I'm sorry. But, yeah, definitely a 9.50. Good, nice, very strong launch, and it just went forward from there, obviously.
Wow. We've got the BMW down the Aeroflow, and what have we got down here in the Rocket?
Is that a Genesis? Is that what they call them?
Mate, I'm not sure. I'm lost. Done. We might have to try and catch it on the way up to see what it is. Or we'll stick Stu onto him. Yes.
And a 12.22 with a 111 mile an hour through the finish line.
And a 13, and I'm going to take a wild guess, 13.2 for the unknown
SUV.
matte black car in the guide coat.
The BMW off in hot pursuit for the AMG. Both cars seem to stumble a little bit to the 60 foot. It's side by side now. AMG just in front of 1,000, and he'll stay there. 13.71 with a 6, 114 through the finish line.
And 13.4, 110 miles an hour. And that's only because he had to do so much more room.
Yes.
Like he sort of zigzagged down the track a bit.
All right, next up, Stewie's a little RX-7. You can hear it purring away.
Yeah.
Taking on
the really suits that car, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
And is this the, I think VW1 or something on it?
Up, I think.
Up,
it's called.
that's
Yep.
it. I knew the, without sounding rude, a basic name.
Good to see the driver of the Up back again. I think she was here last week as well. So
yeah, she does
quite a bit of racing.
Yeah, good on her.
She convinced some of these people to come along to the Speed Addict Clothing Code Championship run under the Street Fighter category. Of course, we've got one more round of that left for this year, this calendar year. Mazda hitting the limiter there on the shift. And a 1288 with a 3, 128 mile an hour.
Yeah, miles an hour, way up. And 173 miles an hour. That thing is just so consistent. Same time, pass after pass after pass. We've got the MG down here. This thing was on track for a good pass, and he got out of it early. I haven't seen it do another pass since then.
Only done the one for tonight, I think.
Yep. So let's see if he stays in it all the way.
Boys, I just had a chat with the guys from Gold Rush.
Yes.
And apparently what they've done on the last time it came out, boys, had converter problems. There was a guy in Melbourne, apparently, who's been able to make a new converter for them.
Yep.
And it seems to be benefiting them. They're only running the engine, though, on half boost.
Okay.
Which is what?
Well, I didn't really delve in
He didn't divulge.
Been told it's half boost. But it did run into the 9s last time it came out. So hopefully, boys, if all the stars align, I mean, the car is set up to be able to run 8 seconds. So, hey, look, anything's possible. And it has cooled down considerably out here.
Hey, Stu, did he divulge what they done with the converter? Is it like is they up the stall on it, or?
No, they didn't actually specify what they've done. I think this is more a bit of a test and tune session for them with this new converter that's in it.
Yep.
And obviously to get the data, play around with it. But Steve, guess what I'm standing next to?
I can see you on the staging lane cam, Stu.
Yeah.
You're standing next to the 9.5 second Golf R in the staging lanes.
Yeah, from Galano Engineering.
Wow. Okay, these guys know their stuff.
Apologise to the guys from Galano. I know the car's been here a few times, and your tuning shop has escaped my memory. Hopefully after tonight I can remember it.
Well, 12.4, 118 for the Mazda.
Stewie's prayers have been answered. The RX-7s, there's now 3 of them. Taking on a very clean BMW in the rocket lane there, Mark.
Yeah, indeed. It is really tidy, isn't it? Was it 318?
I think it's an E30.
E30, okay.
Just consulted our BMW specialist
Yep.
up here. Well, the BMW was doing pretty well with the Mazda until the Mazda came on boost, I think, and then just, although just still stuck with him, not too bad. 13.70 for the Mazda in the aeroflow lane there. 107 through the finish line to a 14.0 mark.
Yep.
For the BMW.
I love it when you say those words, Steve.
What's that?
Mazda just comes on boost and, gets the win.
Aim to please, Stu.
You do a great job too, mate. I'll tell you what, this is one car, Steve, that I had a drive of a number of years ago, and I've got to say I was actually impressed with it, and that's the Proton Satria GT. These things are very underrated.
Well, I think he's got his hands pretty much tied here at the moment, Stu, with the Rodeo next to him.
That's okay, the Rodeo will take the win. 12.47 with a 5 at 112. But I remember when those Protons came out, would have been, let's say, 1999, 2000, something like that. They were quite popular when they first came out. Of course, sold as a very well handling car outside their performance.
Okay, well, we do have Ross Bilby down in the Cortina in the Rocket Lane, and Joseph Vello in the Nissan. Well, both guys out of there like a shot. Both in the 1.360 foots. Joe goes through 9.0 to a 9.6.
Well, that's definitely the straightest I've seen Ross go for a little while. Even if he's on the back wheels.
Yeah, he was indeed, weren't he, Stu? But what a great reaction time, a 0.14.
All right, we're talking about alternate style motors in drag racing, and really you get both ends of the spectrum right here. The 5.7 litre Cummins diesel in the Ram. And of course, this very tough Golf R from Galano Engineering, 955 last week.
.140 in the 64, the Golf, and out of the throttle at the 330. Issues for Gold Rush as well. Still runs at 11.1 for the Golf in the Rocket Lane there, only 102 mile an hour, and a 12.47 with a 3.72 mile an hour for Gold Rush.
Well, we're just having a bit of a look down on the starting line. Looks like the Golf might have dropped a bit of fluid down there. Hopefully it's nothing too serious there. But yeah, hopefully we'll get both those vehicles back out. We'll get to see Gold Rush again. And as Stu was saying, I think they're using for a bit of a test and tune tonight on the new converter. I'll tell you what, guys, we might go up to the big screen. We'll take a tiny little break. We will be back very shortly. We're here, Aeroflow, Race for Real, Ford versus Holden.
Not slow.
Not difficult.
Not just ticking boxes.
Not a bank.
Talk to Australia's real-life non-bank for home loans, car loans, personal loans. Pepper Money, the home of loan options.
Aeroflow Performance provides a wide range of high-quality performance products for racers, street machines and hot rodders. Aeroflow Performance provides a wide range of high-quality performance products for racers, street machines and hot rodders. From fittings, fuel system components, intake solutions and even turbocharger systems. You can see it all at aeroflowperformance.com.
BikeReview.com.au is Australia's leading website for performance and modified motorcycles. BikeReview.com.au is the only motorcycle-focused website to feature motorcycle drag racing on a regular basis. And in the words of editor Jeff Ware, our involvement with Sydney Dragway is our way of putting back into one of our favourite sports. BikeReview.com.au. Stay informed, up to date and entertained thanks to Para News. Para News is Parramatta and the Cumberland area's leading free and local newspaper, delivering the best content from on-the-ground journalists and providing businesses with direct access to potential customers. News, sport, entertainment, puzzles and so much more. Para News really is the heartbeat of Parramatta and Cumberland, and it's out every Tuesday. Get your free copy at selected locations in the area or check out paranews.com.au.
Bank said no to your home loan? Talk to us.
Not a bank.
Talk to Australia's real-life non-bank for home loans, car loans, personal loans. Pepper Money, the home of loan options.
Whether you're building a street machine or a race car, Aeroflow Performance has a solution for you. Our ever-increasing range features boosted turbocharger systems, Bosch Motorsport products, X-Pro electrical systems, hoses and fittings, bang shift shifters, differential parts and fabrication components. You can see it all on aeroflowperformance.com.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannon's,
We've also got Shannon's Home and Contents cover,
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
We're back.
We are indeed.
We're back, and you're about to see your panel van do another run, Mark.
Yeah.
You're pretty keen on the panel van.
Mate, it's just, it's a really nice, and I did actually call it an XF. It must be an XD.
I think, it's definitely earlier than the XF.
Yep.
But I forgive you because from behind they're
Yeah,
identical, I'd say.
They do.
That's it. It's in a very shy colour of yellow. Commodore Ute getting all crossed up in the Burnout.
Concentrating on the injection on it.
Your eyes were drawn elsewhere, Mark.
They were indeed, yeah. As I walked past, I didn't even look at the front of it.
What does Kindy call it? The jewellery box.
Yeah.
And a 12.20 on the nose. 111 mile an hour through the finish line.
And 13.8105 for the rocket lane. That's it's really consistent, that car. It's been around the 12.2s with a bit of change each pass.
Another strong burnout from the utility in the aeroflow lane.
Up against the XF Commodore. Just waiting on the XF Commodore to come in. Oh, sorry, the VF. All these Falcons with their X's.
I was going to say you've upset both sides of the camp.
I have, yeah. Yeah. I'm going to get in trouble. Miles get in trouble from everyone.
All in one half a sentence.
Yeah.
2 syllables.
Well, I was going to say, it's nothing unusual anyway.
Oh, well. Yeah, broad shoulders, yeah. Oh, the Ute, unfortunately, a mirrored pass to the first run that he did. It hooked up not too bad on the second run there, but whether he got a little bit more aggressive on the launch again and just spun those rear tyres.
A little bit strange out of the hole too, because it sort of picked the nose up, got the fray right, but then it just moved forward so many feet and they just started turning tyres. And that was it. It was all over, started going sideways.
Yeah, unfortunately, a little bit of tuning needs to be done there.
Well, it's not a good sign for Gold Rush coming back behind the quad.
No, unfortunately not.
Well, Commodore with a little bit of a laboured burnout there. Falcon just loading up off the line.
Very aggressive once it came on boost. There was a lot of banging and popping there and then gone into coasting mode.
Yeah, I think he will just roll around and come back and do another pass. But 16.7, 80 miles an hour for the Commodore, and a 16.3 at 61 miles an hour for the Falcon. So we've got the Falcon down in the aeroflow lane up against the VF Commodore.
You have the AU in the aeroflow lane.
How's your AU going? Donated everything you needed?
I haven't touched it.
Oh. Okay.
It's still all together if you want to buy it back.
No.
No?
No. Mate, I've only ever owned one Ford. And that was an XW for about 3 weeks, and then someone wrote it off for me.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate, because it was absolute mint.
It's a shame.
200, free speed on the floor.
Mm.
It was going to be a GT lookalike.
Ah, yes. Didn't get that opportunity, eh?
No, not at all.
No, I had good intentions, but I've my focus has been pushed elsewhere.
Okay.
No, not another project, just other stuff going on.
Yep.
And I ended up working on the Cortina instead, so the AU is still all in one piece.
Okay, that'd be a good time to get out of that one.
Yes, so the magnetic wall nearly got switched on then.
Because those things happen.
And in the rocket lane there, Mark, a 12.90 with a 9, 114 mile an hour.
And still waiting for this guy to, or this person to cross the line. 29.8, 38 miles an hour. And hopefully they've learned a good lesson from that one. Don't stay in it, because where that was heading...
Yeah, we can see at the end of it there was a fairly sharp turn to the left, and of course the left is the wall.
Indeed. And most times you're just a passenger.
Yes. Because I guess the dangerous thing, if you're spinning the wheels and you're facing, you're pointing to the wall, that's where you're going to go when you get off it. Another strong burnout from the utility in the aeroflow lane, Mark.
Yes, indeed. And nice burnout from the VK right beside him.
Yeah, it's one tidy looking VK Bellina there as well, Mark, out of this car.
Yeah, it is, Stu. It's really nice and clean, but I think he might have his work cut out for him with this ute beside him.
Yeah, it looked like there was just a few little drops, but I don't think it's anything too bad, Mark, so they're going to send him in. Got a nice 251 XE sitting patiently down in the burnout area. This thing looks very nice too. I've got a great rollout of Holdens and Fords out here tonight as well. And as I said, boys, it has cooled down considerably down here. So even though the track will probably still have a bit of heat in it, I think a few of these maybe turbo barrows might start to come to the fore.
Yeah, almost on cue, Stu. 10.39 with the 7, 139 mile an hour for the Ute in the airflow lane there. Went 1.8 seconds to the 60.
And 11.8, 121 miles an hour for the Commodore. Well, that sounds nice and strong.
Sure does.
Plenty of carburation on there, pumping some fuel into it.
Meanwhile, the Falcon in the airflow lane. Just rolling up to the start line. Oh, a little bit of smoke coming out of the Falcon in the rocket lane. It's not getting any better as he approaches the finish line.
It's getting a lot.
There's a few little spots from the start line of liquid that I can see on the track, boys. So it looks like they got oil potentially down on the rocket lane, so we will have to get this cleared up. That F6 Typhoon 2, Steve, had a little bit of a move at around 60 foot.
Yeah, it did move around a little bit, but my focus was taken by the XE in the rocket lane. Usually you can tell if it's a tyre rub when the racer gets off the throttle at the other end and there's no smoke. We weren't so lucky this time around.
Yeah, usually in tyre rub too, you get it out of one side.
Yeah.
That was just bellowing from the middle out. Okay, we do have the full crew down there having a really good look at the track. What's your thoughts down there, Stu, at the moment?
Let's just say it looks pretty messy, boys. There are a few spots from the start line to 60 foot, but then it just starts to get a little bit more consistent as it goes down the drag strip. So I dare say we're going to be down for it a little bit. One thing I did want to say though, Mark, is it doesn't matter if you're a Holden fan or if you're a Ford fan. Those Cobra look with the blue stripes and the white body, they are iconic. I don't care what anyone says. I'm actually surprised that Ford, I don't know whether they do it or not, but I'd love to see that on a Mustang. Because that Cobra paint job looks sensational. And I do have to be a little bit biased because we have actually got a Cobra in the family, a real one. And yeah, still to this day, if I see a Cobra on the road, I've got to pull over because, yeah, I get excited. And I don't generally get excited about Fords all that often, but when I see a Cobra, hey, AU Falcons don't count, all right? Just because it's cricket season. Yeah. But no, every time I see an XC Falcon, boys, I've got to stop. I love them.
So what is it? An XE Cobra, is it you've got?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Original too. Yeah.
I'll
One
tell
of the Bathurst ones.
You are correct there, Stu, that that Cobra paint, it just looks sensational.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're always going to have that tribal warfare, and tonight is a good night for tribal warfare because obviously it's Holden versus Ford, but you've also got the imports sitting out the back as well that are trying to put a thorn in the side of the 6s and the 8s, literally. But I've got this nice-looking Commodore down here. It's missing its front grille, but it's all the way up from Victoria and Russo Performance.
I was actually
done the engine on. Oh, he's got it. He's got it inside too. He just showed me it. We'll see if we get a word with the driver actually, because this one's got the HDT body kit on it. G'day, mate. What's your name?
Matt.
Matt, welcome to Aeroflow Race for Real, mate. My name's Stewie. Mate, how long have you owned your Commodore for?
About 7 years.
And it did come with the HDT body kit, or is this something that you liked?
No, I put it on.
Tell you what, I've got to say, Matt, the old HDT body kits, they look good. They stood the test of time, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Nothing better.
And you've driven this car all the way up from Victoria?
Yeah, I bought it in Victoria and then, moved up here and, just haven't changed it over. It's cheaper.
Well, mate, it's an absolute credit to you, Matt. The car's great. And look, we know what engine work the Russo boys can do. Tell us a little bit about the motor, mate.
It's just got a custom grind cam and, yeah, just 420 at the wheels. So, yeah, it's good.
A nice daily streeter.
Yeah, every day.
Every day, that's the way, Matt. Mate, it's your pride and joy, and it is fantastic to have it here at Aeroflay Race for Real. Mate, go out and have some fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Mark, but, you know, I did mention, you know, the Cobra on the Ford side of things, that iconic paint job, and particularly when they put it on the newer models as well. I mean, they really look fantastic. But on the Holden side of things too, I mean, I know HSV did a number of body kits for the more modern Commodores, and don't get me wrong, some of them do look nice. But when you've got that HDT body kit that is set up for these VEs, mate, they look tough.
Well, Stu, which you probably know that HSV actually run a series of lookalikes. So they done the body kit that looked like the VK Group 3s onto the later model cars on the Commodores, and they run them right through VK. Then they run them into the VL lookalike. So I think they've done about 3 or 4 versions right through to, you know, virtually a bit of a Peter Brock lookalike type thing. Yeah, and they looked really good. They done a great kit on them. I'm not sure if a lot of them were sold, but yeah, I did read up a big series all about what they were doing, and they look sensational.
Is yours got a bit of HDT kit on it, Mark? Your ute?
It's HSV.
Oh, HSV.
Yeah, but it's all glass stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate, Matt's out here having a lot of fun. We've got this beautiful looking Kiwi, and just while we've got this bit of mopping up being done, because obviously there's a little bit of oil that's come out, the HQ 383. It's a bit of a fan favourite and a commentator favourite as well. G'day, mate. How are you? What's your name there?
Joe.
Joe, welcome to Aeroflay Race for Real, mate. Mate, we love your HQ, literally. Now, we're used to seeing a matte black one come out here, Alicia Teal. But, mate, you've gone super quick.
Yeah, it's got a 383 in it, street version. And, yeah, it's running at 1080, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Is that where the car's happy, or is that a PB for the car?
Oh, it's happy around that time. It can run a bit quicker, but we don't want to break out of the 1050 class and have to put a cage in it. So it's nice the way it is, and I don't really want to cage it.
Well, we don't really want to see it caged either, because it is a beautiful looking street car. But I've got to ask you, you're running slicks on the end of this car?
Yeah, it's running the bias ply slicks all the way around. And it's a better way to race, in my eyes anyway, with a slick. Some guys like to run radials, you know, that's up to them, but I've always been, you know, a bit of a slick fan.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that question, actually, because, I mean, majority of the cars we're seeing coming out at Race for Real now, a lot of people are running the radials on the back of their car. You've gone the tried and trusted slick. Does that suit the older cars with the way their suspension is set?
Yeah, in saying that, the suspension isn't at its best. So, yeah, the tyre that I've chosen is the better tyre for my suspension. With the guys running radials, they may have a little bit more of a coil-over setup. They can adjust it a bit more, where I've just got a standard suspension setup.
Well, Joe, it's an absolute credit to you, mate. And, mate, please keep bringing it out, because we love seeing it here. We love seeing you here. And I know that, I'm sure, Aeroflay Performance, mate, they could use this as a cover car.
Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Joe. Back to you boys upstairs.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Stu, for what he's saying, it's just the standard setup in the rear end of that car. It is launching out really, really well. So it's doing a great job on those slicks with the suspension setup he's got. Well, guys, our A-team have done it again. They've got that bit of fluid cleaned up on the track and just waving the cars into the starting or to the burnout box. So I'll tell you what, mate, Bushy, they're all over this, aren't they?
They sure are. They're pretty well practiced at it, though.
Yeah.
So very well cared for. 400 metres of rubber-covered bitumen or concrete that we have here at Sydney Dragway now.
Well, nice, a strong burnout from this mint-looking two-door Monaro.
Yeah, I think the Falcon, a little bit of work, it's going to have its work cut out for it, I think. Two pretty differently set up cars, of course. Monaro just coming up a little bit on RPM before letting loose. Straight down the centre of the lane, 10.87 with a 125 miles an hour through the finish line.
And 14.6, 102 miles an hour for the Falcon. What do they have in those Falcons, mate? You remember? Is it the 5 litre?
They'd be the 5.4.
Oh, is it? Okay.
BA, yep.
Yeah, that'd be the Boss motor, wouldn't it, Steve?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. I think that the 5 litre was the last in the AUs, I think.
Oh, was it? Yeah. Okay.
That's why I bought the AU, because the 5.4 wouldn't fit in the angler as easy as the 302.
Yeah, because they're really big at the heads and everything. Yeah,
heads are
very
massive.
wide.
And the V's quite a wide V as well. So.
Yep. Well, 13.1, 108 miles an hour for the Rocket Lane. And 14.6, 99 miles an hour for the Aeroflot lane.
I think if I'd gone for one of the Boss motors, I'd be better off putting a big block in it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Or a Hemi.
Yeah, now you're talking.
That's what I mean. Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
There's heaps good. Well, I thought you'd stick with a Ford motor there.
No, I was going to put a Chevy in it at one point.
Really?
Yep. LS.
Well, I'll tell you what, boys, this little Ford Focus down here, it's got the Turbo Smart stickers all over it. It's obviously not standard, and actually pretty good out of the hole for the car, and nice and straight. 13.21, that's actually pretty impressive.
Yes, indeed. And the Commodore, not too happy at the moment by the looks of it, just slowly rolling down the track. 27.4. Well, just to the competitors out there, we do have some money to give away.
Yes, we do. We've got 3 little envelopes sitting up here.
So the reaction time is on the line. We have $300 for first prize, $200 for second, and $100 for third. And that is for the best reaction time. So if you want to take yourself away a bit of cash, start smartening up those launches.
Well, unofficially, the best I've seen so far tonight's a 007.
Yep.
So there is still some time to get there. We saw, I think, Stu and I saw 4 000s on the weekend.
Really? Yeah.
Last Saturday's Speed Addict Clothing Co. Championship Series. Stu McCarthy and myself. Yeah, it was 4. And one racer, I think, did a 000, and I mean, it had a delay box and everything in it. So a few driver's aids, which of course we can't have here tonight.
No, we can't.
But, yeah, Andrew Little out of Forbes, I think, did a 003 and a 000.
Yeah.
Back to back.
Yep.
So, unfortunately, something went wrong in the final. He was on fire all day with his reaction times. The final went 0.8 something.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm not sure what happened there.
I'm not sure how I'd feel if I took a 000 on a delay box.
You still got to react to it.
You do have to react, but it is aided.
Yeah.
Don't agree?
Yeah. I've never driven a car with one, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never done a 000 either. I've come close, but never done
Mate,
one.
we're both on the same one. Got a bit close to it, but not close enough.
Well, I'll tell you what, Steve, this Mustang down here, left-hand drive, I saw this thing in the staging lanes. It looks tough, and it sounds tough too. Cannot wait to see what he's going to do for us on this run.
We got the VX Commodore right beside him with a passenger, so which is sensational. It's great for the passenger as well.
Yes, of course.
Great experience.
And of course, if you do have a friend that you would like to show the passion that you have for drag racing and show them what it's all about and why all you do is chew their ear off about cars.
Yep.
If it's not your first time here, you can take a passenger.
Yeah.
So all the passenger needs is obviously to sign the required paperwork. Up at scrutineering, they need the same sort of equipment that you do. Long pants, long sleeve top, and of course a in-date approved helmet.
Yep.
And you can get out there and...
So the age limit?
I think would be 18. Yep.
18 for passenger?
18 for passengers, yep.
And there's a time for the car as well. You can't go 10:50.
Yeah, I think you can't go. You're doing this deliberately, aren't you?
I am doing it deliberately. Only because I don't know it.
just remember payback, my friend. Just remember payback. Yeah, I think 10:50 is the ET cutoff.
Yes.
Which is substantially fast for a for any street car to get even sub 12s is a fast car.
You know I'm asking you because I don't know.
Yeah, I know. But I'm sure that's what the regs are. I apologise if I'm incorrect.
Yeah, Ben Google answered.
Google being his brain.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That Mustang sounding very, very nice down in the water there. We can hear it burbling away in the track cam.
Can indeed. And it's good to see Stu down here with a mop in his hand.
Yeah, well, it may not be good news, boys, because what I've just picked up on my finger actually looks like oil. So we're just going to have a good look at the aeroflow lane, but I've picked up a few little spots of oil just on the start line here.
Okay, that's not a good sign. Any liquid on the track is not a good sign.
Certainly not. Of course, the track is still quite sticky, but of course you go and put any fluid on top of it with the rubber and the traction spray, it basically becomes very, very slippery. We saw one crew guy on the weekend. He lost both shoes. Needless to say, the next time he came out, he was wearing like these work boots. He was in lace-up shoes the first time, but walked out of both shoes. Stu and I had a bit of a laugh at his expense, of course.
Yeah.
Didn't lose his socks though, so we couldn't quite work out how you didn't lose his socks. But yeah, walked out of both shoes, and then the next time he came back, he had like full work boots with the big laces.
And that's a good representation of a race-prepared track.
Yes.
Compared to what we have down here for a street-prepared track. You can walk across it, you can feel it's a bit gooey.
Yes.
But it's not going to rip your shoes off.
No. No. Nice pass for the Mustang there. 10.96 with a 0. 124. Went 1.7 seconds to the 60-foot mark.
Yeah, 1.6 out of the hole. So, yeah, hooked up really well.
And that white VX, boys, sounded like it had a turbo in it. Looked like it had a bit intercooler, and could hear it winding down as he came up to the start line.
Okay. We got the HTHG down in the burnout box.
There's a bit of smoke coming out of the bottom of that Commodore as well on that pass in the rocket lane. Just a little bit of haze on it, Mark, from around half track.
Okay.
Yeah, track augers just checking that out. 11.04 with a 7, 122.
And 14.2 for the aeroflow lane. So yeah, everyone's just down there having a good look.
Let's hope this HK can hook up. He had a little bit of trouble on his first pass that I saw this evening. Looking great under lights in the silver blue though.
Yeah.
Sounding very nice too. Taking on the XR5 in the aeroflow lane.
Okay, I think we may have a bit of fluid down there. We have our track crew down there marking out an area. All right, guys, we might have a few words from our sponsors, and we'll be back with you very, very shortly. You're here, Aeroflow, a race for real, Ford versus Holden.
I've chosen to use VP Racing fuel since I was a teenager racing motocross, which was 21 years ago now. I just have a really personal trust with VP Racing fuels.
Running on the ragged edge of blowing up and not, a lot of it has to do with the race fuel, and that's what we rely on, VP Racing fuels.
VP has been making racing fuel for 43 years. They're the official fuel of multiple top series globally. No matter where we are in the world, no matter what fuel we need, it's always consistent. It's always perfect and exactly what we're expecting and our tuners expecting. They support myself, my Drift Alliance bros, and for that, I'm extremely thankful. Keep making amazing fuels, and we'll keep out there having fun.
Aeroflow, famous for our massive range of hose, fittings and performance products. Air filters, oil filters, fittings, engine and transmission parts, fuel systems, tanks, silicone hose, exhaust, air conditioning, turbo and nitrous accessories and more. Get your free catalogue and shop online now at aeroflowperformance.com.
Bangshift shifters from Aeroflow Performance are truly the modern shifter for the modern age. Featuring a full bespoke billet case, all shifters are designed for right-hand drive vehicles with an LED lit gear position indicator. Available in either ratchet or gated options, as well as OEM replacement shifters for popular Holden and Ford vehicles. A large range of Bangshift spares are available for each shifter that includes shifter cables, brackets, lever and gate kits, trans brake buttons and drop boxes for the ideal mounting solution. Shift into gear and check out a full listing at aeroflowperformance.com.
How would it be if we funded a pilot program for you to run that enabled you to bring some vision impaired kids onto the Saints Play program?
Oh wow, that would mean the world. My reward is the smile on the kids' faces.
And since you've given so much to others, we'd also like to do something for you personally. How would it feel if Pepper sent you, your partner, and your daughter Molly to the Gold Coast for a few days?
Yeah, awesome. I don't know what to say. It amazes me. Thank you very much.
Stay informed, up to date and entertained thanks to the Western Weekender. The Western Weekender is Penrith's leading free and local newspaper, delivering the best content from on-the-ground journalists and providing businesses with direct access to potential customers. News, sport, entertainment, puzzles and so much more. The Western Weekender is the heartbeat of Penrith and it's out every Thursday. Get your free copy at selected locations in the area, home delivered, or check out westernweekender.com.au.
Boosted turbochargers from Aeroflow Performance are designed for the automotive enthusiast who wants optimal performance at a competitive price. We have a range of turbochargers in both ceramic ball bearing and 360-degree journal bearing options to suit your power goals from 200 up to 3,000 horsepower. To help turbocharge your vehicle, Aeroflow Performance also have a large range of turbocharger accessories. From steam pipe turbo manifolds, external wastegates and intake and exhaust solutions, you can have your car boosted in no time. For a full listing, check out aeroflowperformance.com.
All right, guys, we are back here at Aeroflow. Race for real, Ford versus Holden. We have the HG Holden down in the Burnout box, down in the Rocket Lane. We have the Ford in the Aeroflow. Well, HG didn't get a real lot of heat into those tyres. That could affect him off the line. I definitely think this thing has got a bit of horsepower up under that bonnet. Just slowly edging these cars in. Whoa, same thing again. The thing just virtually hopped in the air as it left the line. Just rolls across 11.9, 79 miles an hour, so big back down from that car. And 13.2, 106 miles an hour. So we got the turbo Falcon down in the Aeroflow lane up against the Commodore. Oh.
So, all right. So, I think that's the Area 51 Commodore Ute in the Rocket Lane.
Okay. Yep. Sounded nice and crisp in the Burnout.
Pair of strong burnouts from both competitors. The Falcon slightly quicker to the 60-foot. Not by a lot, though.
Ooh, something's bouncing on the limiter.
Saying, change me, change me.
Yeah, indeed.
12.38 with a 7.109 through the finish line for the Falcon. And I think that was the Commodore Ute by the sound of it. Definitely sounded like the limiter of an LS.
All right, we've got the Commodore down in the Rocket Lane. And I think that's a Falcon in the Aeroflow lane. I'm sort of just looking at your taillights, hoping I've guessed it right.
I think you have, but my night vision's not very good.
Yeah, mine either. I'd never make a vampire, that's for sure. Well, 11.8, 122 miles an hour for the Aeroflow lane, and a 13.3 for the Rocket lane.
Second of the Area 51 cars in the Rocket Lane.
Yeah, the Statesman Caprice.
See the nitrous purge in a second when he goes into stage.
Quick purge of the nitrous then.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I heard it, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, and another one.
There we go.
They virtually give it a purge of the nitrous on the line just to clear out any oxygen sitting in the lines. So he gets a full belt of gas.
11.54 with a 2, 133 for the Caprice in the Rocket Lane there.
And 11.9 for the Aeroflow lane. The old nitrous, really good stuff, but Jesus hard on the on all the running gear.
All the internals.
Yep.
I've seen a recent example of where booster's pretty hard on internals too, Mark. I was watching a live stream out of the Bend on the weekend, a friend doing some circuit racing down there.
Yep.
And I don't know what category it was in. I don't know all of the different class designations of circuit racing, but how does the big end of a conrod going through a competitor's windscreen sound?
That sounds like a really big detonation.
Well, I don't. I'll show you a picture. I know this doesn't help the people at home, but I took it off the screen of the live stream, and he was holding it up at the start of the. They just did a quick interview, and the racer with the broken windscreen was holding it up, and I've gone,
Wow.
that looks like a big end of a conrod, and sure enough, that's exactly what it was. I believe my unprofessional opinion is that it must have broken the bolts, because the rod normally doesn't break like for the cap to come off.
Yes.
Right? Normally it breaks through the middle of the rod itself.
Yep.
But the big end's gone, obviously through a block or through the sump or whatever, bounced on the road and through the windscreen. I'm showing Mark the photo now.
Wow.
You can see the 2 holes in the windscreen where it's hit the upper side.
The cap ends.
The 2 cap ends have hit the windscreen. It's then fallen, rotated in the hole and fallen inside the cabin for the racer to collect at the end of the range of the run, end of the race. So, yeah. I don't like seeing people spend that sort of money, of course, but
No.
I do. I'm amused by just for the fact that it's so crazy that it's hit the, the
Yes.
engine could have detonated and the part's gone into the paddock, and the only person that would have found it was the guy on the lawnmower. But, for it to go into the windscreen of a competitor's car is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is indeed.
Although it would have been a different story if it hit the other side of the windscreen.
You know, when we were racing, both motors that we lost were rod bolts failing.
Okay.
Yep, and they were all ARP rod bolts. Nothing against ARP, but yeah, they were both
good quality
all
stuff.
the good stuff was in those motors. Yeah, and that's where they both failed. And it was both times crossing the line.
Yeah, all right. So right at the threshold of paying
Yes.
for the engine, and could not take it no more, eh?
And one of those motors, we found a end of a valve, the round bit at the end of the valve, inside an exhaust chamber.
Ooh. Just what you want.
So there wasn't a lot left of
No,
those
no.
heads.
No, I dare say that would have been a little bit messy. Again, that would be a let's restart, not rebuild. Let's restart.
We got an ignition out of that one.
Oh, really?
And the carburetor, manifold destroyed. Yeah.
Oh.
So that was a whole restart, but that was, that motor, the next motor we built had a little M bottom end, and, that was our
stepped up
9-second motor.
Yeah. Took the opportunity to update.
We did indeed. And as with all races, we didn't have heaps of money, so it took us 2 years to get to that stage, but that was a full rebuild of the car, suspension, everything, except for the gearbox. The gearbox was fine.
Yeah. No, I guess, you lean on these things every now and then, and it's bound to happen eventually at some point.
Yeah.
So again, a little bit of fluid in the airflow lane.
Luckily, it doesn't look too bad because we're just doing a mop-up on it, so which is good.
A little bit of thinners down there as well, because the thinners helps the oil or draws the oil out of the rubber, and then the mop just wipes it off the surface.
And good thing about the thinners, it evaporates really quickly.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. So that's telling us that we're not going to be down for too much longer. Of course, tomorrow night is the second edition of Roll Drags here at Sydney Dragway, of course, from 6 till 10 p.m.
Yep.
Now, the first edition was a fantastic night for Pat and myself up here in the commentary box. Had a ball. It was a little bit different that we didn't have. I'll say we didn't have a massive number of cars because about an hour before we were due to kick off, a front went through, and
oh really?
I drove out of the gate at work, which is not far away, and I thought, oh, it doesn't look good. And I think the weather probably scared a few people off, but we were lucky. We weren't affected by the weather, but I think the damage had already been done. And I don't know how many runs some of those cars did, but I think we finished just before the 10 o'clock. And I can see that you're on with me tomorrow night as well, Mark. So
it's going to be very interesting.
It's going to be very interesting. We'll
my first roll drags.
Oh, completely.
Completely
your first roll drags.
Yeah, never been to watch or nothing like that. So yeah, it's going to be an eye opener.
Yeah. So what the cars will actually do, Mark, just so, and if you're coming along tomorrow night, they stop at the front of the tower here, just with the bonnet just sticking out the front of the tower. It's the car in the airflow lane sets the pace up to the start line, so they're looking for somewhere around the 60 k's an hour mark.
Yep.
At around the start line. The two cars have got to be a certain distance apart, and for the run to be classed as fair, if you like. The two cars then will get the green light as they approach the Christmas tree, and then they race to a marker just past the half track mark, and that's the end of the run.
Okay.
So as I said earlier, the quickest car that we had to that point last month was an R35 Skyline. We're just under 230 k's an hour to that point, so still fairly moving. Of course, obviously. Not from a standing start, you are carrying a bit of speed into the run. We may end up moving that target further down the racetrack, but we'll just see what happens. I think tomorrow night we're going to give that a bit of a nudge, looking at some of the cars that have already entered.
Yep.
But I think a pretty good night was had by all, and plenty of runs on the board. So we saw all sorts of cars here. It wasn't just Lambos and Skylines and Supras and you know, all the typically quick cars. There was a couple of Lancers as well. But we even saw one racer was in a Saab.
Oh, really? Yeah, okay.
I don't know Saab models at all, but yeah, this come out for a bit of a go, and
great
because of the style of racing. You know, it typically is very quick. Like the car runs down the racetrack, and then pretty much nearly straight away the next pair of cars is set on its go. And you know, the competitors that we had here, some of them probably did 10 passes, I'd say, over the course of the night.
That's sensational.
Yeah. So, but like I said, a bit of everything from you know, turbocharged Corollas to Skylines to Supras to Saabs to, you know, all the Falcons and Commodores and that sort of thing as well. So big mix of cars. And you know, we're not running eliminations or anything like that as yet. Something that me, on a personal note, would like to see.
Yep.
But you know, whether we decide to do that or not will remain to be seen.
I suppose we're all learning on this one, aren't we?
Oh, 1,000%.
Yep.
And you know, as I said, it was a good night by all, and I think you know, a lot of people had a good old time. We had a reasonable crowd considering the weather.
Yep.
And yeah, hopefully a good start to building something a little bit different here at Sydney Dragway.
Yeah, for sure. Well, something that is catching on. So yeah, it would really be good to set up in a really area that's set up for that, isn't it?
Yes.
That's, you know, like a proper drag strip for that. So yeah,
well,
perfect.
There was a couple of cars that were, I'll use the word, struggling a little bit for traction. But I think too, you got to remember that they're not doing a burnout before.
Yes. Yep.
So the tyres are only carrying the residual heat from the run before.
Yep.
And it's the same wherever old Jags is run, because they don't normally do a burnout anywhere, as far as I'm aware.
Yep.
So yeah, there is that little bit of a difference in your setup in how you deliver the horsepower to the racetrack, just like we see here on a Wednesday night or even a big race meeting. You know, like the track won't hold 10,000 horsepower of a top fuel car, so the tuners have to tune the car to the track, and you and I as racers understand that, you know, some of these cars don't have a lot of tunability in them.
Mm-hmm.
As you see in a lot of the full race cars, you can take timing out of them, you can you know, take compression away from them, you can take boost away if it's forced induction, all that sort of stuff. Where your normal majority of the cars that we see here tonight, the driver just has to be a little bit more sensible on the loud pedal, I guess, is probably the easiest way to say it.
Yeah.
That little Corolla, 1089 with a 130 mile an hour. Definitely loving the cool air. Yeah, I want Stewie to go and find out what's in that thing. Yeah,
exactly. Well, Stu, if you're out there wandering around, that little blue Corolla, definitely grab him. We need to have a talk.
Absolutely, mate. Can do that. That's it. The blue one. We've got a fair few cars out here. They're stretched right back around to the back of the cafe. So
that's great. That's sensational.
Fingers crossed, we might be able to give away some money tonight.
Well, we're on. We're on for that one, Stu. We've got the money.
Oh, okay. Because I've just got bowled up by you know who, asking if the money's on the table, and I said, look, I'm not really sure.
Not someone in a red car, was it?
Yes, it was, as a matter of fact.
Tell him it's on, but it's not for him.
It was also a gentleman in a purple Cortina as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, you guys, but it's always lane 6.
It is indeed.
No, it's great. I tell you what, it is great to be here on the night. We've actually got a whole heap of people out in the staging lanes. And a big thank you to all our Holden and Ford and also all our import drivers as well for coming out and supporting Aeroflow Race for Real tonight. Man, what a turnout. Summer's coming. It's cruising weather, guys. I've been doing plenty of cruising in the Mazda. And yeah, there's a few people starting to come out and take the cars out during the week and on the weekends for a cruise down to Wollongong or up the Central Coast. It's good to see.
Yeah, it is indeed, Stu.
We need to find him a cruise car, Mark.
We do.
Like
You've only got to go on the old Pacific Highway and you can see him.
You need a. I'm not knocking the Mazda 2, mate, but we need a proper cruise car for you.
Yeah, old school.
Something old school.
It's got those chrome bumper bars.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm sure there'd be. Oh, maybe I could ask Galvo if he can come down and pick me up and I'll go for a cruise with Galvo, you know.
Don't hop in the car with Galvo, mate. You reckon your hair's white now?
I reckon Galvo, you know, maybe take me out in Xena.
Zena's still in the pulled apart in a big pile in the corner at the moment.
Really?
Yeah, he's investing his time in the house at the moment.
Ah. Well, I'll tell you what, that blue Corolla is coming up into the staging lanes now, so I'll try and grab a word with the owner once he pulls up and gets the car out.
It'd be definitely nice to see what is up underneath the bonnet because it works.
Well, Garage 48 obviously helped him out with the car. Hey, buddy, how you going?
Mate, how are you?
Very well, thanks. What's your name there, mate?
Scott.
Scott, welcome to Aeroflow Race for Real, mate. Everyone wants to know what's hiding under the bonnet.
SR20, mate.
It is an SR20?
It's an SR20.
I'll tell you what, mate, this thing looks the goods. It's quick, it's stunning, mate. How long have you owned the car for?
3 years. 3 years now I've owned this car, yeah. It's been a bit of a journey getting it to the track, but we're here now and we're enjoying it.
Scott, you're doing a fantastic job in the car, mate. And, mate, it is fantastic to have you here. Just quickly, though, who are Garage 48?
Garage 48. He's a company based around Hornsby on the North Shore. He's a fabricator, but jack of all trades, mate. He's pretty much done everything on this car. If you have a look over it, it's unreal, mate. Can't recommend him highly enough.
Well, Hornsby's up from my neck of the woods, so I'm a bit surprised I haven't heard of it before.
He's done everything. If you could actually see underneath this car, it looks better underneath than what it does in the engine bay. He's a magician, mate. So, yeah, like I said, can't recommend him highly enough.
Well, Scott, that is an absolute credit. It's great to have a car that was prepared up in Hornsby. We don't get many of them, but, mate, we want to see more of it.
You'll see more of them, don't worry. There's another one coming too.
Oh, awesome. There you go, boys. Scott and the Corolla Garage 48 SR20.
Well, that's a good call for anyone that living around the Hornsby area. You want to get some work done. Mate, there's a good wrap for that garage. The guy does the right work, so might be able to push some work their way.
100%, Mark, because that's the thing is finding somebody that's, you got to build a little bit of relationship with them, a bit of trust with them. Obviously, it's quite easy to spend a lot of money and in some cases be a little bit disappointed, but to have customer feedback like that's certainly a good thing.
Yeah, you hear so many stories about guys just throwing money into a car and the work that comes out of it is, not perfect. You hear about lots of stories of those and the guys just get depressed with the build. But yeah, it's definitely right when you get a customer feedback like that, you know the work's right. So you're happy to spend the right money to get the right job.
I'll tell you what, boys, now I'm starting to think, and Steve, you can probably already see my brain ticking. I wonder what I could get fabricated on the two, because they're local, so...
Mate, we got a big list, and it's all.
I can imagine. I bet. I just said that, and I bet you and Mark have got the Aeroflow catalogue open at the moment with pages that all got little marks on them, saying Stew, Turbo, Intercooler, all the rest of it. I know you two.
I reckon
you two.
You'd be one of the first modified Mazda 2s out there.
Well, to be brutally honest, and look. My car's only got an exhaust, as well, kind of an exhaust. Anyway, but I have not seen one like mine that's been modified. So, or at least here in Sydney anyway. So, you know.
That's what I'm saying, mate.
Stu, I'll tell you
Start
what.
a trend, bro.
I've got to get some more stickers for it, believe it or not.
That's not going to help you. We're talking
Well,
about.
no, but you know me, I love my stickers.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking I want to get something funny put on it. So if anybody's got some funny ideas, and they've got to be nice, like it's not going to be rude. But if you're looking on Facebook and you're thinking, well, what's a really good little funny sticker that Rocket could put on his car, you know?
You know what, Stu?
Cool,
You could set a trend. You can have the first 9-second Mazda 2. Just give us your checkbook, and we'll do the right thing by you. All right?
No, we don't need his checkbook. We just need his
credit card
numbers and FPOS.
Well, I thought about getting one with my head and a microphone and with me with a giant grin with a thumb up, you know, like that, and that'd be quite funny. I mean, you know, just something funny. But no, on a serious note though, look, a lot of the modern Mazdas these days, for whatever reason, look, I know they're not super fast from the factory, but there isn't a lot of modification side of it here in Australia. Most of it is over in the US. And a lot of the Mazdas that you do see that tend to be on the modified side are probably more towards the 90s with the FDRX7s in particular that you really see modified. So, and I'd like to do things slightly out of the norm.
Well, we could put a rotary in it.
Yeah.
You know, you're not sold on that idea?
You mentioned me with rotary. Ben wouldn't come near me. He wouldn't even let me in the studio. I mean, I could take a tape recording of it and just play it in the background for him.
You'd better get a divorce.
Yeah, he'd probably throw me through the window. But anyway, get back to racing. We got the young lady coming out in the little Nugget, 1-2 Nugget. The Rub V-Dub. Of course, Club V-Dub. This thing comes out every week, the little Volkswagen Up. This lady loves her drag racing, and I'll tell you what, if you're watching on the live stream, you're thinking, a Volkswagen Up? Hey, it's not about what you drive. It's her car, she's enjoying it, and most of all, she's out here doing it. She's not sitting behind a computer screen. She's not sitting up in the crowd. She's got a car, she's bought it out, and she is having a hell of a lot of fun.
And I'll tell you what, Stu, if she started doing a bit of competition stuff, she would be winning because she is so consistent.
Exactly right. And, you know, that's what I was talking to the boys earlier in Crazy. I mean, you could go that extra mile and try and run, you know, at 10:50. But as the boys said, they don't want to chop it up. They don't want to have to put a roll cage in it or put a parachute on it. But running at 10:63, as long as you got that consistency, and like you just said, Mark, this is the perfect breeding ground for drag races because you've got to be good on the lights. And if you want to learn the lights, this is the event to learn the lights.
100% right. Well, we've got the MG. This thing has shown so much potential for putting in a good pass, but he just hasn't finished off on the top end of the track. We've just been waiting for a full noise pass out of it.
Full noise?
Full no noise pass.
Sorry,
my mistake.
So what has this done in relation to a Tesla?
We haven't seen a full pass out of it, Stu. Sort of gets up top end of the track and steps out of it.
1.94 to the 60. No brake lights this time, Mark. We might see a full power pass. 12.0 with a 5. 112 mile an hour for the MG.
Okay, 15.3, 118 miles an hour.
Does that make that quicker than a Tesla, boys? Or on par?
No, I think it says the sports model of the Tesla, I think, run 11
they
fours or something like that.
They're low 11 second
low
passes, but can even go quicker again. Yeah, so And I've never seen one of these MGs before. I think you need to grab him when you get a chance, Stu, to find out the story. Yep, 100%. There's something I did hear the guys talking earlier, and there's not too many of them around.
Pair of Mazda's just running down the racetrack there, 13.53 in the airflow lane to a 13.15 mark in the rocket lane. Not too much difference in the speed there either, only 2 mile an hour.
Well, here probably a decent pass down here. We've got the BMW and the Proton. But I think this BMW put in a low 12-second pass.
It was a 12-something, yes. Pretty collectible, this little model.
Yes.
I know they race them in the, there's a one-make series for them, which is pushing the value up of all the non-raced ones, because they're chewing up some of the parts. But nice straight run out of the airflow lane here. And he'll run on through for a 13.0. 113 mile an hour.
And 17.7, 82 miles an hour. I thought the Proton was a lot quicker than that.
Early model RX-7 going through the burnout procedure. Giuliano on cue. We've just had a pair of Mazdas 2 passes ago. We've got another one on the start line leaving right now. Sounding much crisper this time through 1 and 2 at least.
Well, a BMW in the rocket lane. 11.9, 126 miles an hour for the Mazda.
It sounded like it was coasting by a long way too, but 12.16 with an 8, 119 mile an hour for the BMW that was in the rocket lane there.
I think we've got another BMW down the line.
Hey boys, I'm down in the staging lanes.
Yes.
And we've got a little black car with a power tune symbol on the side of it, the little Nissan Pulsar GTIR. This car's been out here before, does plenty of racing with roll racing. I'd love to see this car make its way out here to roll drags tomorrow night.
Well, I know, Stu, I'd certainly like to see it do a full powered run. Usually does move around a little bit when the boost gauge starts to climb. Just like the Subaru that ran before when you were out the back. Had a good old nudge of the center line. And Bilby there, a 965 with a 4, 138 mile an hour through the finish line. Sorbello now taking on Chris Downbos in the Volkswagen Golf. Ran into the 9.5s last week for the Golf. Sorbello away with an 0.39. The Golf not worried about the RT. Goes 1.43 to the 60. Sorbello through the finish line, 8.94 with a 3.
Well, looks like you stepped out of that pretty early there. 11.0, 86 miles an hour.
Well, boys, I'm down in the staging lanes with the owner of this electric MG. First of all, mate, what is your name?
David.
David, welcome to Aeroflow Race for Real, mate. My name's Pocket Rocket. Mate, we've seen the Teslas out here. This is the first time I've ever seen an electric MG. Tell us a little bit about the car.
Yeah, so this is a X-Power. It's our new electric car. 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds. So I've ran at 12.1, which is okay, but I reckon we could crack an 11. It's all-wheel drive. This color actually it's not a wrap, so it's an actual color. It's called Hunter Green, and it was actually painted in memory of Sir Sterling Moss. So it's the same color that he ran in his EX 181.
Yeah, wow.
Jeez.
Okay.
Now, obviously, there's a lot of competitors that are starting to get out there for Tesla. Obviously, BYD, now MG. MG probably be the most accessible out of the brands for an average consumer to go out and buy.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, this is 59,990 plus on roads, and I think, you know, to get 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds out of the box, Alcantara, you know, matte finish paint, all-wheel drive, big brakes. It's a really good package. It's hard to beat at that price point.
Yeah, it certainly is. And look, you know, it's a credit to you not only for bringing the car out, but most importantly, I mean, we talk a lot about product development with race shops when they build a car. Obviously, MG have got this, and what better way to promote the car than bringing you out here to Aeroflow Race for Real and showing not just people in the crowd, but the people all around the world what this MG can do.
Yeah, 100%, and that's what it's about. You know, this can be a daily driven car, but it's also you know, a weekend warrior, and that's why I'm here today, just to have some fun with it and to show people that you can actually have fun in a EV, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. You know.
Now, I guess the big question is for those people that may be a bit apprehensive about the EV, how many Ks roughly would you get out of a charge out of one of these things?
So this is 450 Ks. Obviously, if you're heavy on the pedal, you'll start to deplete the battery. But I mean, I drove from North Sydney to here. This is my third run. I'm about to go for a fourth, and it's on 81%. So I've got 318 Ks to go. I'm going to do another run. Like, it's actually pretty decent.
Well, Dave, thank you very much for bringing the car out, and look, to show not just myself and my fellow commentators upstairs, but everybody here in Sydney at Dragway tonight about this product. Guys, definitely make an effort to go down and have a look at it.
Yeah, thanks. And all I can say is stay tuned, because we've got a Cyberstar coming next year. 0 to 100 in 2.7 seconds, two-door sports coupe. So, yeah.
Well, Stu, even the good part of that is that this is on Facebook and YouTube as well. So this is virtually going everywhere.
Yes, so good advertising for MG there, and certainly we've said it before, Mark, the electric vehicle movement is definitely coming. It's not a matter of if, but when. It's certainly getting more and more prevalent across everyday use. We hear figures of, you know, I think 1 in 5 new cars recently, in recent months, has been an EV.
Yes, it is, yep. Which is following the trend around the world, because, you know, everyone's looking for less emissions, and that's what you're going to get out of these vehicles.
Yep, 100%. But it also proves that you can get performance out of them as well.
Yes.
When we hear figures of 3.8 seconds to 100, that's pretty decent in an SUV.
All right, everyone, in about half an hour, I'm going to duck upstairs, because not only do we have to work out who the winners of the reaction time pride and contest is, but I've also got this Odyssey battery vouchers in my hand, and us three commentators, we're all going to get together, and I promise there's going to be no arguments. We're going to have a chat between us and who we think that this Odyssey battery voucher should go to for the best looking Holden or the best looking Ford here this evening.
I've already got a few in my mind, Stu.
Yep, well, write them down, Steve. And Mark, if you've got a few, write them down as well. And then we'll come upstairs and we'll make our decision.
I've got mine written down already, buddy.
Fantastic.
Does my car in the garage count?
Well, it would have counted maybe if you'd paid an entry fee and were out there racing.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'll take that one off the list.
I'll do all I can, Mark, but that might be stretching it a little bit. Commodore Ute taking on the Focus. The Focus in front at half track. Still at 1,000. I think he's going to take it. He does. 1381 with a 102 mile an hour through the finish line. Got there by 0.2 of a second. 13.95 with an 8.106 there for the Commodore Ute in the aeroflow lane. Strong burnout from both competitors. The Falcon rolling forward first. Just waiting on the Falcon to move into full stage there now. The second white light is on, telling the starter they're ready to go. The Ute away first with a 2.18 reaction time. Falcon with a fair bit more performance under the bonnet, I think, but not going to make the gap up. The Commodore already through with a 15.94, 88 mile an hour to 12.66, 1.13. The Falcon in the rocket lane. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that we have Go Nuts for Donuts here tonight, as well as Troy and the gas-fired pizza up at the top of the spectator mound there, and Joe's ice cream up there as well. So we can cater all your track food desires. And there's also the Pit Stop Cafe down in the scrutineering shed, or next to the scrutineering shed if you're down in the pits and need a feed down there. Of course, they've got all the usual, the drinks, the coffees, hamburgers, etc., etc. Plenty of options here to satisfy your stomach's desires. And I know I can smell two of the Troy's gas-fired pizzas up here. Smelling pretty good. And I'm guessing they taste pretty good because Ben's pretty much inhaled his. and Mark's already got half down, but he's been talking too, so, you know, I'll give him a bit of credit there.
You know they're good when there's no one talking.
14.58 with a 7.95 mile an hour takes that one in the rocket lane.
Next one.
Ford versus Holden in the commercials. Strong burnout from both competitors. Commodore Ute just
dragging out the burnout.
Yeah, wearing a few more 1,000 Ks off the tyres. It's all good. Or should I not think of it that way? I shouldn't think of it that way, should I?
It's all fun.
That's exactly right.
You just got to look at it this way. You wear them out quick, you get some new tyres.
I was just going to say the same thing. Yeah.
Yep.
I think the panel van out in front at the moment. Mark's going to take this one. 12.14 with a 6.112 mile an hour through the finish line.
And 14.0, 101 miles an hour. I love the sound of like injected cars with the injectors up through the bonnet.
Yes.
They just sound so good. A different sound.
Well, you'll be in luck because that's what I want to do with the Anglia.
Oh, that'd be sensational. Yeah.
Maybe not as tall as through the bonnet because they'd be like the Come Racing ones that are up
yeah.
3 foot tall. But yeah, but definitely I'm thinking along the lines of individual throttle bodies.
Yep.
Just for something a little bit hot roddy sort of thing.
That would look sensational.
Either that or one of those rib things with a black...
Oh.
Again, blazing the tyres in that Ute on the hit.
And it's just turner tyres trying to pick up the front wheels.
Still manages at 12.44 with a 2.60 foot.
Yeah. Big miles an hour, 123. And 13.6105 miles an hour for the Aeroflow lane.
VK taking on the fair lane in the next battle.
You know, amazing, like these early model, like not this model, but the early model fair lanes, so many of them just got wrecked out to make GT Falcons. Guys in XYs and XWs were just buying those and just wrecking them out for the motor, gearbox, diff.
I guess, you know, at times that's what people do. It's like, I guess it's the same in the current generation, if you like, with the VT Commodores. Like, how many VT Commodores have we seen used up on the Burnout pad, for example?
Yep.
I'm choosing my words very, very carefully here. But they prove to be a tough car to do that sort of activity with.
Yeah.
Now, okay, right now we think, oh well, some of them are worth good money, but you know, and they're only going up in value. I'm sure that buying a suitable Burnout car now is dearer than buying one 5 years ago, but they're still plentiful on the road, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no ET recorded for the Rocket Lane. Bit of a shame.
I dare say left before the green light came on.
Yep. We do have Stu on the spot at the moment, down on the line. There's a bit of fluid down there, Stu.
Yeah, just a little bit of green coolant that has just come out of the Commodore. So just giving that a quick mop, and we should be back to racing very, very soon.
Well, not a great sign for the Golf coming back behind the quad.
Those guys have been doing a solid effort, though, the last couple of weeks here at Aeroflow Race for Real. And it's good to see something different, but most of all, it's good to see something quick as well. And it's something that those guys can build on. And, you know, look, they might start something. There might be another workshop out there that might sit and go, you know what, let's have a crack and let's see if we can keep up with these boys.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much what it's all about, isn't it? The one guy's set the level, and then everyone wants to just keep going past it, and that's why we get to where we're at now. You know, we're really quick cars going.
Well, as we said earlier, guys, in the event, you know, you've only got to look at Drag Challenge and some of the cars that have now entered that particular event, and the quality and the reliability of those cars. And look, a lot of the workshops that have started to come out here to Aeroflow Race for Real with their customer cars. I mean, as I said today from MG, what better way to promote your business than to bring it here? You're in front of everybody. You're also in front of the whole world. And hey, there's numbers don't lie. You got the time slip to back it up. Nobody can argue that.
Yeah, you're dead right, Stu, because you can put them on a dyno. They can produce big dyno numbers, but, you know, like there's happy dynos out there as well. But what you're putting down on the black stuff is the true figures.
Absolutely. I mean, look, you can put any car on a dyno and you can say, oh, yeah, it runs 1,000 horsepower. Yeah, cool. Put it on this, put it on here, put it on the black stuff, and let's see what it can do.
Yep. Well, Commodore going out, just leaving a red light behind.
Perhaps chasing that reaction time money that's on the table.
Yes, indeed. Well, we've got some, probably unofficially, some pretty good reaction times we've seen so far.
Yep, we've got about 20 minutes left.
Yep.
In that challenge for tonight. And then I'll duck next door, get some names and numbers, and we'll send Stewie downstairs with the cash.
Well, we got the battle of the two utes at the moment. But this Barra-powered ute has definitely got the goods.
Said, I'll see you at the other end.
10 free, 139 miles an hour. And 12.5, 114 miles an hour for the Aeroflow lane.
There's nothing wrong with a 12.5, but when you put it next to a 10.3.
Yeah. Especially when you see that Falcon going past you.
Well, I'm in the ute there, 0.75 on the tree, so for the airflow lane there.
Yep.
Falcon through the finish line first with a 12.43, 117 miles an hour. To a 15.45 with a 7.90 mile an hour.
Well, Steve, I want to see this Falcon run through the bottom end. I haven't seen him put in a full noise pass yet.
You and me both, but I have a suspicion it might be the last time we see it tonight if he does.
It may be.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Fighting it, still fighting it.
But hasn't got out of it, just wrestled it round.
Yep.
Takes it through, 9.5, 141 miles an hour through the bottom end. Wow, well, we knew it had plenty in it.
But we see, I didn't think it was a 9.5, but awesome to see 141 miles an hour. Went 1.3 to the 60.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't think we were going to see a full noise pass out of it when it started heading towards the wall. Well, you've done a great steer.
Put that Mustang in the rocket lane there, Mark, I think.
Yep.
10.89 with a 125 miles an hour. You've got some very quick cars here tonight. 13.07 with a 108 mile an hour in the airflow lane there.
Well, Commodore wagon down in the aeroflow lane. VS, I think. Up against the Ford.
Just a very slight headwind blowing here at Sydney Dragway from the south.
Okay, just slow. Oh, just gone in a little bit too deep.
Commodore with a better 60 foot. I dare say he's going to keep driving away from that Focus.
I'll tell you what, the Focus is chasing him down.
Yeah.
14.0, 105 miles an hour to a 15.0, 99 miles an hour.
Well, the Area 51 Ute boys, he did said to me before he came out, he said, Stu, I've changed the rear tyres. I can do some nice bigger burnouts with a giant grin on his face.
As if he needed new tyres for encouragement. It was a big smoky burn at that time, and I think the last one was as well. 080 reaction time. Nice light from the Area 51 driver. Backing out of the throttle there, I think, at 1384. 91 mile an hour to a 1459 with a 6 for the Focus. The second of the Area 51 cars in the airflow lane, in the Caprice. The Nitrous assisted Caprice taking on the earlier Falcon in the Rocket lane. Again, smoke out of the Falcon.
Yeah, that was hazing a lot more, guys, than what... yeah, that was hazing a lot further up this end, guys. And I can tell you right here now, Steve and Mark, it starts right here on the start line. There's a few little spots, but there's a big spray at about 20 foot out. So whatever it is that's let go on that car, it hasn't been rectified. And unfortunately for that car, I'd say that would be it for the night.
Yep, so it looks like we're going to be down for a little while. We might just have a quick word from some of our sponsors, and we'll be back with you very shortly here. The Aeroflow Race for Real, Ford versus Holden night. We'll be back shortly.
Speed Addict Clothing Co. Fast clothes for fast people. Shop now at...
Not slow.
Not difficult.
Not just ticking boxes.
Not a bank.
Talk to Australia's real-life non-bank for home loans, car loans, personal loans. Pepper Money, the home of loan options.
Aeroflow Performance provides a wide range of high-quality performance products for races, street machines and hot rods. Aeroflow Performance provides a wide range of high-quality performance products for races, street machines and hot rodders. From fittings, fuel system components, intake solutions and even turbocharger systems, you can see it all at aeroflowperformance.com.
Bikereview.com.au is Australia's leading website for performance and modified motorcycles. Bikereview.com.au is the only motorcycle-focused website to feature motorcycle drag racing on a regular basis. And in the words of editor Jeff Ware, our involvement with Sydney Dragway is our way of putting back into one of our favourite sports. Bikereview.com.au. Stay informed, up to date and entertained thanks to Para News. Para News is Parramatta and the Cumberland area's leading free and local newspaper, delivering the best content from on-the-ground journalists and providing businesses with direct access to potential customers. News, sport, entertainment, puzzles and so much more. Para News really is the heartbeat of Parramatta and Cumberland, and it's out every Tuesday. Get your free copy at selected locations in the area or check out paranews.com.au.
Bank said no to your home loan? Talk to us.
Not a bank.
Talk to Australia's real-life non-bank for home loans, car loans, personal loans. Pepper Money, the home of loan options.
Whether you're building a street machine or a race car, Aeroflow Performance has a solution for you. Our ever-increasing range features boosted turbocharger systems, Bosch Motorsport products, X-Pro electrical systems, hoses and fittings, bang shift shifters, differential parts and fabrication components. You can see it all on aeroflowperformance.com.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannon's,
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover,
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
All right, guys, we're down in the staging lanes, and while I'm down here, it looks like we've got a huge Focus Club which have come out tonight. Going to have a talk to the gentleman with the white XR5 Turbo. Mate, first of all, what's your name?
Name's Ivan.
Ivan, welcome to Aeroflow Race for real, mate. Mate, tell me a little bit about your car, because, man, this thing's quick.
It's got a stage 3 intercooler, 3-inch intake, 3.5-inch downpipe to a 3-inch straight pipe KMS system, blow valve, pretty much it. Yeah.
And tuned?
It's on Dream Science Mod XRS, stage 3 plus tune.
I'll tell you what, mate, you can hear it when it leaves the line, mate. It sounds great. Now, all your mates here that have got the Focuses, are you guys all part of the group?
Yeah, we're all part of a group, big group. We all decided to come down today. We'll probably be here next week as well.
Fantastic, mate. And what's the name of your group?
I didn't catch that.
So what's the name of your group?
We don't really have a name. Blurred, I guess? Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much.
All right. Well, mate, we hope to see you guys back next week. Thanks for coming out, guys, and supporting our Holden versus Ford theme night. Mate, the cars look fantastic.
Thank you.
There you are, boys. We're back to racing, and tell you what, it's not just the Falcons that are out here too. We've got the Focuses. They've got a Ford badge on them, and they're out here as a group having a lot of fun, which is what we like to see. And for a car that Ford aren't making anymore, for these guys, you know, they're really flying the flag for the Focus.
Well, I think that the XR5 has come to a price point now, Stu, that we see a lot of, I see a lot of them around with the P plates on and that sort of thing. You know, obviously when that model Focus first came out, they were quite expensive, and they're not, the ones we're seeing there tonight are not the RSs and that sort of thing, because they're still, you know, a second-hand RS usually is around the 45 mark still. I don't know what they were worth new, but the two-door version that Ford bought out a little while ago, they were 70 or 75,000 new, and I think they're still around the 50,000 mark now to get into one of those. So for performance, the model that we're seeing prevalent here tonight, they do pretty well, the XR5. As we see one line up in the rocket lane now. I'm going to take on the Commodore in the Aeroflow lane. Focus still in front and is going to take the win here. 13.01 with an 111 mile an hour through the finish line to a 15.3 at 88 for the Aeroflow lane. Almost a repeat of the last race. White Commodore taking on the XR5. 2-1-1 on the tree for the XR5. As the lead at the moment, but I think the Commodore is going to come around pretty much together at 1,000, and the Commodore will take it 12 at 94 with a 115 mile an hour to a 14.1 at 100 mile an hour in the rocket lane there. Redemption, that's exactly right. .158 to the 60 for the car in the Aeroflow lane. And a 10.67, 128 mile an hour through the finish line to a 14.11 at 105 for the Focus. Ford versus Holden. Big strong burnout from the Holden in the aeroflow lane. How's the other half of your pizza, Mark?
Sensational.
Well, it's all gone. And the plate too.
I ate the plate. Just in case. Okay. Just wheeling the Ford out. Not sure if it's leaking a bit of fluid.
Well, there's nobody running around with a mop or anything, so I'm not sure what's going on. After that big burnout, still breaking traction. I dare say that some tyres, when you do big burnouts like that, you don't achieve anything by doing it. Actually, it makes it worse.
Yeah, you can get them too hot.
I suppose different compounds and different tread patterns, I guess.
Yeah, yep.
Running very strong at the top end, 11.65 with a 122 mile an hour through the finish line.
And 14.6 at 100 miles an hour. I say that bit of nitrous on board carried him through. Top end of the track.
Sound like you had the launch control on the start line as well. A two-step or something like that.
Yep.
Bit hazy in the staging lanes there, Mark.
Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it? Maybe all that smoke's just drifted out the back.
I was going to say, considering it's clear out the front here. .14.03 with a 6.109 mile an hour in the aeroflow lane to take the win there.
And 13.7 at 99 miles an hour for the rocket lane.
Pair of Falcons. About to start, face the starter. Nice burnout from the aeroflow lane.
Yeah, not too much of a burnout in the rocket lane.
I do like that wide body kit on that Focus that's about to come forward. You can see it there in our staging lane cam.
Yep.
The burnout might not have been the greatest, but the performance got him there, Mark. 12.89 with a 110 mile an hour through the finish line. Got there by, the reaction time got him there. 12.02 with a 119 mile an hour for the quicker car in the aeroflow lane. Falcon Ute taking on the Falcon Sedan. You know what we're missing tonight?
What's that, mate?
There's no Nissan Skylines.
Nah.
Not one. Maybe they're all coming tomorrow night.
I think they might be. Wow, the ute.
3, 4 stabs at the throttle there to keep it moving. Out of it early too, still runs at 11.7.
So he virtually pedalled the whole track.
Pretty much. He was doing 104 mile an hour at half track and only 115 at the finish line. And even getting to half track wasn't perfect. Focus taking on the Falcon, I think it is, in the rocket lane.
Well, 14.7, 98 miles an hour to a 15.1 at 94 miles an hour. Well, we got the Commodore down in the Aeroflow lane up against the Falcon Ute. Waiting on both these cars to come in and stage. First light on. You'd just gone in on a deep stage. .11.7, 118 miles an hour to a 15.5 at 92 miles an hour. Mercedes-Benz up against the Falcon station wagon. Benz on a nice clean pass. 11.6, 120 miles an hour to a 16.6 at 84 miles an hour. Ford in the Aeroflow lane. Car down in the rocket lane, just getting a little bit out of shape in the burnout. (13.2), 115 miles an hour to a 13.6, 106 miles an hour. Two VW Golfs. One in the Aeroflow lane just going round the water, the other one just going through it. Nice big burnout. (11.2), 125 miles an hour to a 14.2 at 98 miles an hour. We've got the Audi wagon down the airflow lane up against the VW. Well, the Audi goes through 11.8, 114 miles an hour to a 13.8, 103 miles an hour for the V-Dub. Just quick mop up down on the line. Just this time of night we do get a bit of condensation out of the exhaust of the cars. We do have a Subaru down in the rocket lane, fronting up against the VL Commodore in the aeroflow lane. Rocket lane just ahead. Goes through 17.1 at 80 miles an hour to a 17.8. Fairlane up against this turbocharged Toyota Ute. Ute's been running nice and strong tonight. The best I've seen so far was a 10.7. Fairlane just rolled through the beam. So just rolled him out so they could reset the lights again. Well, Fairlane just absolutely smokes the tyres off the line. But in the meantime, the Toyota out and gone. Goes through 10.6, 124 miles an hour. The guys will be really happy with that. That car has just been getting quicker and quicker as the night goes on. 17.5, 86 miles an hour for the Fairlane. BMW down in the rocket lane, just sitting in the burnout next to the Falcon. Well, you just out and gone. 11-1, 133 miles an hour to a 13.9 at 83 miles an hour. You definitely had a 10-second pass in that. I'm pretty sure he backed out of that one right on the line. (14-1) to the rocket lane to a 14-0, 112 miles an hour. We got the VW up in the aeroflow lane, up against a VW Golf over in the rocket lane. (16-0) to an 18-5. Subaru up against this battery-powered MG. Stewie had a talk with the gentleman down there tonight, and really interesting just talking about this car. Really well priced too. It's for that type of vehicle. 59, yep, Stu's standing right behind me, said it's $59,000 for a off the showroom floor 12-second car. Does 460, was it, kilometers on a charge. So for you family runaround car, be a great little unit. Well, 12-0, 112 miles an hour to a 12-0, 118 miles an hour. So we've got the Proton up against the Mazda.
All right, 14.04 with a 2 there, 110 mile an hour for the aeroflow lane, and an 18.28 with an 8.78 mile an hour in the rocket lane. Well, Mark, I have a little bit of exciting news for 3 of our competitors down on the ground this evening.
Yep.
Just been handed the results for tonight's reaction time competition. And in 3rd place, we have John Katsonis. racer T18 with an 031 light. In second place, we have Danny Stadelmeyer with an 030 light, so only 1,000th of a second better. Sees him take out second spot. And the winner tonight is Wayne Stewart with an 013. So congratulations to those 3 competitors. Stewie will be down into the staging lanes to reward you with your envelope. So congratulations to Wayne Stewart there for taking out the #1 spot here tonight.
So guys, just make sure you still have your armbands on.
Yep.
Because that will be checked before the money gets handed over.
Absolutely. And also our winner of the Odyssey Batteries voucher for this evening. Well, we put our heads together and it's going to Joe with the HQ 383, the Monaro. So Joe, if you're here as well, please meet me at the bottom of the tower for your Odyssey Batteries voucher.
Okay, we do have Joe's car. Looks like it might be leaking a bit of fluid. They just got Joe to shut the car down. Very unusual for his car.
Yeah, considering the number of passes that he does here, the car usually runs pretty faultlessly. He has had the odd issue along the way, but on the whole, considering how much he leans on that car,
yes, indeed.
It's pretty reliable.
Yeah, it doesn't show it any mercy, that's for sure.
They'll just send Ross on a solo in the rocket lane in the Sporty Cordy. 087 on the tree. And he'll run on through for yet another reliable pass, 6.9 to 63 with a 138 mile an hour through the finish line mark. That car just seems so much more stable when it keeps all 4 wheels on the ground.
Yeah, it does indeed.
It's not. It doesn't seem to hurt the performance at all when it does it. A 963 there, went 137 to the 60.
Yep.
Moved around ever so slightly, but not as much when it carries that front end, just that fraction longer.
Yep. It's a Cortina.
Yep.
Sounds bad, but it's just it is a inherent type problem with the Cortinas. Unless you do a real lot of suspension work on them and set them up really tight in the suspension with a rear stabilizer bar that you can set your preloads and set a real hard preload on them, they always seem to, as you say, once they pick up those front wheels off the ground, they carry across towards the right.
Just through the natural flex in the mono construction, of course.
Yep.
All right, we've got Danny Stadelmeyer down in the airflow lane. Just once we get this little bit of fluid cleaned up from the previous pass.
Yep. From Joe's 6-litre supercharged Nissan motor, or Nissan car, with the Holden motor in it.
And Danny will be taking on Akin Yukon. I think I've got that right. I'm not sure if I do. SR20, the little Nissan Pulsar. This thing had a big move around at half track on the previous pass. And making plenty of horsepower.
Yeah, it does.
Little
And you can
SR.
just see the thing. Once it launches out
Yep.
and starts, when it gets on boost, it just goes where it
No, I'm
wants to.
going over here.
Yeah,
now I'm going over here.
exactly. Yep.
I guess wherever it gets the traction, I suppose, it's the opposite direction, because if you don't get traction on your left wheel, that's the side you're going to go to.
And the kin chases it.
Yep.
I think from memory these things were all-wheel.
Yes, they are. They're all-wheel drive.
I wonder if it's still maintaining the all-wheel drive.
Pretty certain it is, Mark.
The way it moves around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A characteristic of a front-wheel drive car where it wants to torque steer everywhere. As ginger as you like away from the start line, and off we go now.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go over here. No.
Yeah.
Whoa. Stepped over half the lane in about the car width, so still runs through for a 12.29 with only 113 mile an hour. He was doing 106 at half track.
Yep.
And a lazy 2.7 second 60 foot. And still ran 106. To put it in comparison there, Stadelmeyer, a 186 60 foot,
Yes.
he was doing 77 at half track.
You know, I don't know what you do to resolve that issue. How you can control it. Like they do it in the Skylines.
Well, I don't know what gearbox it runs, but obviously some gearboxes you can, or the transfer case, you can tinker with what the ratio is of drive to front to back. And I dare say that that's probably where a lot of because the Skylines don't seem to move around like that. I mean, admittedly, they're a bigger car, so they're probably a little bit more stable because of the wheelbase, but still, you would think that they would still move around. When you're talking the ridiculous horsepower that we see the Skylines making, I'm sure a Kin's car is making power per cc or capacity is pretty good. But you see the Skylines now, to see a 2,500 horsepower RB engine is not out of the question nowadays.
Yeah, I just, like is it drive shaft? Like are they shorter, longer? Like it's.
But the thing is, they all seem to do it. Like we saw the Subaru, that white Subaru did the same thing.
Yep.
Again, an all-wheel drive car.
Yeah.
To me, it's a characteristic, and this is just me making an observation. We see like super powerful front-wheel drive cars do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is torque steer, and I'm wondering, like, is it the different size drive shafts? You got your long and you got your short.
Yeah.
Which is where your torque steer comes from. It drives you. Okay.
I think even talking the torque steer, there's that all-wheel drive 67, 68 Camaro in the UK that we see running at Centerpod.
Yep.
And that thing's runs high sixes, I think, hasn't it been? 200 mile an hour, I think, from memory. Yeah, it's got the driveline over C10 Suburban or something similar in it.
Yeah, well, okay.
Pretty cool looking car and something very different, but it also still does that a little bit too.
Wow, that was a lot cleaner from this car.
I can't see what car it is.
It's a HG.
It is the HG. Nice, clean.
Wow.
Okay.
I can see why he's held back on that one.
Yeah, 9:29 with a 148 mile an hour through the finish line.
Wow. Yes.
Okay, just attention in the paddock area in the pits. Wayne Stewart, racer number T19, and Danny Stadelmeyer, racer number 2590. That's Danny Stadelmeyer, racer number 2590, and Wayne Stewart, racer number T19. If you guys can meet me at the bottom of the tower, please. And also, Joe Pellizzera as well. Joe, if you are still here, can you meet me at the bottom of the tower as well, please?
Okay, looks like we do have a bit of fluid down on the track. The guys are stepping it out by the looks of it. Okay, just wheeling these couple of cars back. So we're going to get the
old tractor onto
it,
I'd
tractor
say.
out. Give it a bit of a drag.
Of course, tomorrow night, the second edition of Roll Drags here from 6 p.m.
Yep.
Looking forward to it. We've received confirmation that there'll be a number of quick cars out of the Precision stable.
It's great with the, you know, like you build all these cars and these guys are all coming out as a group.
Yes.
It's a great thing for that garage, isn't it?
The team
Yeah.
atmosphere, I guess, and you know, they all push each other, I suppose, to do bigger and better things. They have a good old time doing it. But no, definitely looking forward to it. As I said, Pat and I really enjoyed the last one. So if you free tomorrow night, you want to head on down to Sydney Dragway and either race or just come and watch.
Yep.
We'd love to have you back.
Yes, indeed.
Of course, the concept a little bit different to what we're seeing here tonight, of course, but we do have a speed trap set up so we can tell you how quick the cars are going through the finish line. And as I said, we had a car nudging the 230k an hour mark, which is pretty impressive, really.
Mate, that's super impressive. There's not a lot of real estate you're using there, is it?
No. The track is obviously is a little bit shorter than the quarter mile here, but we do obviously have a rolling start, as the name would suggest. Of course, the car in the aeroflow lane sets the pace up to the Christmas tree.
Yep.
So from 0 to 60 k's an hour, and it's up to the racer in the rocket lane to stay within a car length of the lead car, I guess. Then from there, once you get to the start line, it's double clutch it, whatever your system is, and
hang on, point and shoot.
Hang on, point and shoot. Exactly right.
Yeah.
And it's not always about having the quickest car, but of course, I'm not going to lie. I like seeing fast cars.
Yeah, I like seeing fast cars too, and it's good to see how they've got them set up. How good that they hang to the track in it.
Yep. Well, of course, it's a different set of power delivery. You know, the suspension setup, the turbo, the gearing is all a little bit different. Like we saw some cars that came out last month, and they seemed like they didn't have the I'll say the right gear ratio in whatever gear they were taking off on. You know, first gear you might find that you're right at the very end of or the very top of first gear. Then so you're shifting very quickly into second if it's a manual, for example. So yeah, it is a little bit of a different challenge to what we see with the traditional style of drag racing that's here tonight. But I think that's part of the challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yep. Well, we might go to a word from some of our sponsors while they just finish this last bit of the cleanup. And we will be back very, very shortly with Race for Real, Holden versus Ford.
I've chosen to use VP Racing fuel since I was a teenager racing motocross, which was 21 years ago now. I just have a really personal trust with VP Racing fuels.
Running on the ragged edge of blowing up and not, a lot of it has to do with the race fuel, and that's what we rely on, VP Racing fuels.
VP has been making racing fuel for 43 years. They're the official fuel of multiple top series globally. No matter where we are in the world, no matter what fuel we need, it's always consistent. It's always perfect and exactly what we're expecting and our tuners expecting. They support myself, my Drift Alliance bros, and for that, I'm extremely thankful. Keep making amazing fuels, and we'll keep out there having fun.
Aeroflow, famous for our massive range of hose, fittings and performance products. Air filters, oil filters, fittings, engine and transmission parts, fuel systems, tanks, silicone hose, exhaust, air conditioning, turbo and nitrous accessories and more. Get your free catalogue and shop online now at aeroflowperformance.com.
Bang shift.
Alrighty, Mark, we're back.
We are indeed. It takes these guys no time at all to get this track cleaned up and back into racing conditions.
Got the old Ute ready to go, already in full stage. The BMW just bumped in to deep stage. And the Commodore showing the way at the moment.
Yeah, 14.1, 108 miles an hour to a 16.3 at 91 miles an hour.
And the next pair out will be a Ford in the aeroflow lane. Falcon taking on the Commodore Ute in the rocket lane. Strong burnouts from both competitors.
Well, hopefully this Falcon Ute will get in a full noise pass. Hasn't really had a lot of luck getting down the track.
No, he hasn't. Struggled a little bit, of course, in the next pairing out. 287 reaction time for the Ute driver, the better of the two. The Falcon in front at 1,000 just. And takes the win, 15.41 with a 0. 92 mile an hour through the finish line.
And 16.4 at 85 miles an hour. Nice quick burnout from the Falcon.
Yeah, no messing about, but big smoky burnout from the Commodore in the rocket lane, Mark.
Yeah, he's just savouring it a bit longer.
Yeah. Actually, I think he's done some pretty good skids tonight. Just quietly.
All eyes on the Falcon.
3 or 4 pedals there, 2, 3, 9 to the 60. We'll run on through for a 1270, 124 mile an hour.
And 13.9, 104 miles an hour for the Commodore.
definitely unrepresentative of that car.
Yeah, exactly. It just blows the tyres off it from the start, then he's just got to pedal it till it starts to bite.
So what would you do, Mark, in that situation? Would you reduce your tyre pressure? Would you reduce your launch RPM? I mean, I don't hear any sort of rev limiter or like a launch control or anything like that.
It makes you wonder, like, if he's running, you know, like a set of tyres or radials or something like that, you'd definitely, if they're just normal road tyres, well, you're not going to gain any advantage playing with tyre pressures. But I would look at, you know, is he just punching the thing straight off the line?
Yep.
Or is he pulling the revs up to get momentum happening
in the
yes.
drivetrain?
Yeah, so it's already loaded up.
Yep.
So it's not just getting that instant belt of power which would blow the tyres off it.
Yeah.
And I would drop, you know, if he's leaving the line at 3.5 grand, well, you know, I'd start pulling it back to 3 to see which one is hooking up. I think I'd play around with that to start with.
And then once you got it to a hook up, then start get a bit more aggressive and move forward from there.
Yep.
Yeah, because, I mean, as we see, there's a number of cars that we see here regularly at the competition events. They work well with actually, well, they say, like flashing the converter.
Yep.
You know, rather than actually bringing the car up to the nominated stall. You know, let it go off the button at you know 500,000 RPM lower than the stall, and that actually flashes the converter up past the stall figure, and you end up with a quicker time at the other end in some cases.
Yeah.
All right, the Ford Focus in the airflow lane, taking on the Holden Commodore in the Rocket. Pretty close off the start line for the two competitors, but the Commodore definitely with the advantage.
Yeah, those extra cubes are working for him.
13.28 with an 8.108 mile an hour through the finish line.
And 15.5, 97 miles an hour.
Tell you what, that little Focus is pretty consistent though, Mark.
Yes. Yep. You still hear that Commodore going back for the gears down the bottom.
Big burnout from the car in the airflow lane.
Hey. Commodore wagon was just stalling in the burnout, didn't want to turn tyres. In the meantime, Mustang in and ready to race. Whereas this is under race conditions, you only got so many seconds to get up to the line, get yourself done if your other guy you're racing is in and staged.
A Mustang away so cleanly. There's not even a hint of tyre spin or anything.
Yep.
Virtually sound like it was nearly rolling away from the start line. A 10.99 with a 124 mile an hour.
And 16.6 at 73 miles an hour.
So looking at the speed, that ute should run a high 10.
Yep.
Because that's what he ran. He runs about 127, 126 mile an hour.
Okay, Statesman over in the rocket lane. Is that a Falcon ute
yes,
we have?
Yep, that's our Barra Turbo ute in the aeroflow lane. Whoa.
Whoa, jeez. Oh.
Still fighting with it.
Yeah.
Something broke there, or was it a traction issue? Because as I said before, obviously the center line of the racetrack, there's no track prep there. You can see the there's a definite change in appearance to the racing surface, and of course the side that you don't have any traction on is the side you're going to get pushed to, because the drive wheel has the traction and it's going to push it around in an arc, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You're right in what you say, but look like you're like, you know, if you get a broken axle, it does what it was doing, but not as bad. Like when you got a broken axle, it just, the moment you touch it, it just spears you off. But yeah, that car was just hanging to that centre line, wasn't it?
The Falcon in the aeroflow lane, chasing down the Commodore. Is he going to get there, Mark? I don't know. I don't think so.
No. He definitely had the ET there to do it, though.
Yeah, he did. He did. It was virtually a second quicker. He gave away 1.6.
VT Commodore.
Which, funnily enough, the margin was 0.6.
Yeah, it was.
Who would have thought? Focus taking on the Commodore. And it's all V8 grunt to take this one. 11.88 with a 121 mile an hour through the finish line.
And 16.2 at 66 miles an hour. Ford up against the VX Commodore.
Pretty even matchup this one so far. The Focus just down in front. It's actually driven around the Commodore. 14.50. 99 mile an hour through the finish line.
And 15.4 at 89 miles an hour.
Of course, all the Focuses here tonight, part of a group or a club. So if you're a member of a car club and you want to come out here as a group, get in touch with the office. And if you have enough cars that come with you, we can give you your own lane in staging lanes out the back.
Yep.
So that'll make sure that you run all your club mates. And 14.37 with a 100 mile an hour through the finish line.
And 14.3. 100 miles an hour even.
Big skid from the Falcon Ute in the rocket lane. To 160 foot for the Focus. Led that one from start to finish. 13.21 with an 8.105.
And 15.4, 92 miles an hour. We do have a nice lineup of cars coming through the tunnel at the moment. A couple of XYs.
Have we seen that Falcon run tonight? One in lane 2. Doesn't ring a bell.
The sedan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Haven't seen what it ran though.
Just thinking we might have a really late comer or someone that's had some issues, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think he's done a couple of passes already. 10.5, 138 miles an hour for the Commodore, and 11.8, 122 miles an hour.
All right, the Silver Commodore in the rocket lane, taking on the Focus in the airflow lane. Not much in the reaction times between these two races. I think the rocket lane will have the performance advantage though. And runs on through with a 1383.
And 14.5, 101 miles an hour for the aeroflow lane. Nice big strong burnout from the Ute.
Yeah, wow.
Up against the fair lane. I think we're going to see a good pass out of this Ute as well. Ooh. Yeah, I did. Put the curse on it.
Still runs on 11.6. Look at the speed, 130 mile an hour. And it certainly was not a perfect pass for what I was hearing through the track mics.
And 15.7, 89 miles an hour. Yeah, it sounded like it didn't want to change gears or braking down.
It was definitely some, it sounded like ignition.
Yeah.
Didn't sound like it was a rev limiter thing. It sounded more like an actual misfire.
Yep. Okay, two nice side-by-side burnouts. Ben's just gone.
Yep. Toyota's sounding awesome, but
yeah, just not producing the time.
Nope.
11.6 to a 12.
7, I think it was.
7, yep. Little V-dub. Looks like a Polo.
Yeah, taking on the Widebody Focus. The Polo is out and gone, Mark. The Focus is not going to catch it. 14.009 for the for the VW in the rocket lane.
And 13.9, 105 miles an hour for the aeroflow lane.
This car out will be our Hilux Ute. We haven't seen this for a while. It must have been in the pits doing some tinkering.
Yep. I think the last pass I've seen it run was a 10.6. It's just getting quicker every pass.
As he said before, he's changed the diff gears.
Yep.
Taking on the Mazda RX-7. And it's on 10.98 with a 4 at 125 miles an hour through the finish line.
And 13.9, 110 miles an hour for the Rocket Lane. So yeah, doing those gear changes and tyre changes, if you're playing with quarter mile stuff, you want to just get close to touching that shift light as you cross the line.
Pair of VWs about to face the starter. The VW up in the airflow lane mark, taking on the Polo in the Rocket.
Yep.
The upper way first, but I dare say the Polo is going to be coming on around at half track. Oh no, still behind at 1,000. There's 4/10 across the finish line. Look closer than that, I will admit. BMW in the aeroflow lane, taking on the RX-7 in the Rocket. Tyres just screeching a little bit or squealing, I guess you could say, for a little bit of traction on the track mics. And that Beamer stays out in front, 13.19 at 114 mile an hour.
And 12.9, 114 miles an hour. The earlier model RX-7 down in the Rocket Lane. Up against the Proton.
.1084 with an 8, 125 mile an hour for the RX-7 that time around. Just touching the limiter on the after the finish line.
And 18.2 at 76 miles an hour.
Must have been listening to you, Mark. Very smooth on the gear changes on that one.
Yep. Okay, we've got the XW Falcon just rolling into the burnout box now. Another really well presented car.
Yeah.
11.9, 115 miles an hour to 11.2.
Sounds very stout as well. Oh, Falcon way over towards the center line.
Very close to center line, isn't it?
Still runs through for a 10.83 with a 5, 125.
And 13.8, 110 miles an hour. So yeah, he's definitely doing a bit of steering in that pass.
Yes, he was right up on the wheel, as they say. Probably nervous not to cross that center line and take out those foam blocks.
Yeah, but we look like the crew walking back through the observation down there, big smiles on their faces. So they're happy with that pass. Sounds like the other Falcon Ute is downstairs. I can hear it rumbling. $14.6, 95 miles an hour to a $15.5 at 92 miles an hour.
Alrighty, the Area 51 car teeing on that Falcon Ute. See if the Falcon can resist temptation to go full throttle and just roll into it rather than or he could just roll into another burnout.
Yep.
The Area 51 car runs on through for an 11, 35 with an 8, 134. And the Falcon Ute there, a 14.55 at 120.
Yeah, you got to keep trying something different, don't you? Can't keep persisting with the same thing over and over again because it's not doing anything.
Well, I think the issue is that it doesn't seem to be getting any further down the racetrack. Like it's still, each runner's done the same thing at the same point, pretty much. Focus keeping him honest.
$13.1, 116 miles an hour for the Rocket Lane.
To a 14.3 at 101 for the Focus.
A big burnout from the Falcon.
I think his previous run, or the one before that, was definitely quite a big burnout as well, Mark. You can tell when it's big on these Falcon Utes because the smoke, the way the smoke comes off the back window. It almost looks like the cabin's full of smoke too. And away with a 5.34 reaction time for the Ute in the Rocket Lane. The Focus a little bit hazy there, Mark.
Yeah, it is. It seems to dropped away a bit now.
And 15.38 with the 492 miles an hour.
And 21.1 at 62 miles an hour. I'll take a second look at that.
Definitely looks like it's stilled up outside. The smoke just lingering at ground level. The air probably a little bit colder, a little bit denser, so it doesn't dissipate into the upper level of atmosphere here. 15.30, 92 mile an hour in the airflow lane will take it.
And 16.2 for the Rocket Lane. 13.9 to a 14.4. Well, another good pass from the Commodore. 10.5, 144 miles an hour to a 14.5, 98 miles an hour. $13.1 to a 14.4.
Big flash of flame out the pipe there from the Falcon on the gear change.
Yep.
And we'll get there first. 12.48 with a 4.1, 12 mile an hour through the finish line.
And 14.7, 103 miles an hour for the Aeroflow lane. And we've got the Fair lane and the Falcon down in the burnout box.
I'd say you're, just as a observation here, Mark, I'd say you're a little bit outnumbered again.
We are, mate. All the Holden guys have done the deed. They're all gone home.
I knew you'd spin it. I knew you'd spin it. I was just having a slight dig and it backfire. Bang. I was having a pick at it. I wasn't even digging, I was just having a pick at it. Scratch, if you will. I must admit, my boss is very good at that.
Yeah.
You think you've got a good, something a little bit funny, a bit cheeky, whatever, and it's bang straight back at you. And it's 10 times better. I've given up after 13 years of even trying. The Aeroflow lane will take it 12.21 with a 2, 118 mile an hour through the finish line.
And 14.6 at 95 miles an hour for the rocket lane. Utes back out for another shot.
Yeah, what's he look? I think his first pass was his quickest was a 10.60 or something like that, 10.65.
Mm-hmm.
One 4.8 to the 60. Fairly big backfire at around half track there, which is pretty much right where the shift point is. 10.50.
Wow.
10.50 with a 9. 127 miles an hour.
And 13.7, 106 miles an hour for the rocket lane. That's a great pass.
Yeah, the car dead straight. No hint of any tyre slip, anything like that. It just hooked up and went.
I can see that car just getting quicker and quicker. The more little things they keep changing on this car, they're the right things, and it's just doing improvement after improvement. I'll give it 12 months, and I reckon that's going to be a 9-second car.
Well, I guess it depends if they want to go through the process of getting a roll cage and all the other stuff. You know, some people might not want to do that. But I guess it depends how hard the drag racing bug bites, I suppose, Mark.
Does indeed. Usually when you're at the stage where they are, it's biting.
It's already bitten. It's coming back for a second.
Yep.
Or third or fourth, just to make sure you've...
Because they're doing the changes, they're getting improvements, and there's some good improvements. I can hear that Falcon Ute downstairs again.
Yeah, I could see the he was on the staging lane cam a few minutes ago. Those tyres squealing for mercy in the Commodore there. Something giving up the ghost in the Commodore.
Yep.
I was going to say it's on each run that it's done, it's sounded like it was like axle tramping or something similar with the delivery of the power through the tyre, because we can obviously hear the tyre screeching on the track surface.
Okay, Ute's in a different lane. Wonder if this will make any difference for him.
I'm guessing this will be our last car, Mark.
Well, a lot less revs, and the Ute got away clean.
Yes.
1,660 foot.
Yep.
Runs 10.7, 127 miles an hour.
Comments from the Supercoach. Well, congratulations. Good to finally get a representative pass for that for that competitor in the orange Ute. Well, as I said, Mark, I think that concludes tonight's racing here at Sydney Dragway. I've had an absolute ball up here tonight with you and Stu, and seen plenty of good fast cars, and look forward to hanging out with you tomorrow night. Doing the double shift with the roll racing kicking off from 6 p.m. here tomorrow evening, and still I'm sure there are still spots available if you want to come out and give roll racing a go in your car. Yep. And on behalf of Sydney Dragway and all the officials here, look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow evening.
Indeed, and likewise, Steve, had a blast of a night tonight, and thanks to Ben over there just punching away at the keyboard, and to all our officials, great job. A few little oil downs, but the guys got them cleaned up and back into racing, so they've done a great job.
Yep, they did have a little bit of work to do. Also, thank you to everybody that's joined us on the Sydney Dragway official YouTube channel and the Facebook stream. I hope you can join us all again tomorrow night there as well if you can't get to the venue itself. And it's a good night from Mark, myself, and all of Sydney Dragway.